Hey, Anti-Anonymous. Hello, school system is setting up stuff for failure. Nothing matters behind basic English and math. I don't know if I agree with that statement. Like, I will, I will say that, right, they definitely, and it's not even, English is third. I would argue math is first, then science, then English, then history. Right? There's a great speech. I don't think it's Carlin. It might be Carlin. About, how we decide educational systems and how they're designed from the bottom up, or they're designed top down. I don't know. But I don't know if I... It depends on where you are in the country, and I mean, the president trying to shaft the Department of Education. Well, the future president. Alright, big run this week. We're not doing big run tonight. I barely have the energy to do normal Splatoon. Oh gosh. My wrist, my carpal tunnel is bad today. And I didn't even fucking do any. The most we did was play Astrobot yesterday. And that was only for 5 hours. That was fucking... I did Pikmin for 16 the other day. I don't know why my carpal tunnel is just fucking killing me today. And it's only been since I got off work. It's been especially bad. But I reached down to, press the button on the controller, and, oh, God, that hurt. You know how humans need better knees? They need better wrists. They also need better spines, but that was a lot harder to fix. I guess I should get to the intro. So the show tonight, as it stands, we're talking the Game Awards. The Game Awards were yesterday. We did technically stream the Game Awards. We streamed for the first time since 2018. No, maybe I did watch them in I don't know, was there a Game Awards in 2020? I might have seen the Game Awards in 2020. I know I saw 2017. I know I saw 2018. I don't think I saw 2019. I might have seen 2020. I know I didn't see 2021. I know I didn't see 22. I know I didn't see 23. No, I did not see 22. No, I know I didn't see 2019, because that was when was 2019 when the Series X was revealed? I don't remember. It's been a while. Either way, it's been a few years since I had last actually, watched a Game Awards live. But I had a fun idea for a stream. Did we ultimately fail that challenge? Yes. Yes, I totally ultimately failed that challenge. We did not beat Astrobot in the 3 hours it took to actually do the Game Awards. We weren't even close. I think it took us another 2 hours to beat the game. So yeah, it was... I mean, other than that, though, I had fun with Astrobot, so we did that yesterday. That's all up on YouTube. You can go watch that entire stream, as well as me doing the Grandmaster Challenge, the super hard level at the end of the game. Because, spoiler alert, after Astrobot won Game of the Year, we did sit down and do that challenge. So yeah, that video, that's up over on Twitch, but we're still going to talk about the Game Awards. I have not gone back and rewatched them. No sirree Bob. But I did listen to the Kinda Funny podcast. I know we listened to it yesterday on stream, but I listened to it a little bit off stream, or a lot off stream. So I got all the announcements. We're not talking about every announcement, like I always do. I'm only talking about the stuff I care about. If you want a full rundown of everything that was announced, you can go find that in other places. As always, I will recommend Kinda Funny. I think they did their podcast is like over 2 hours long, but I feel like they did a pretty good, comprehensive job of things, even though they probably didn't cover everything either. And then we'll talk about the awards, because of course, I did make my predictions on who I thought were going to be the winners and the losers. So we'll go over my predictions on who lives, who dies, who tells your story. And then we will... we got some Switch 2 stuff. The Switch 2 has basically officially leaked. Like, yeah, we haven't seen... Like, someone doesn't have a Switch 2 in their hands, running the OS, playing a game. Like, we haven't gotten that far. But other than that, basically everything else has leaked from the Switch 2. So we are going to talk about that. Probably kind of briefly, you know, I've got some thoughts. Have I come to a revelation? Maybe kind of. We'll talk about it. And then, of course, we got some WIBE, real short one, because, spoiler alert, the only game I played was the one I played yesterday. I didn't even get to check out the new DLC. There was a new DLC level they announced. Didn't even play it. I was going to, but then I got sidetracked. Lasagna. God, it takes a long time to make a lasagna. Oh. And then we've got, Marble League. We have, what, 3 events? Episode 4, Episode 5, We got 4 events. Of which I have not... The one that came out today, Ice Hockey, I have not seen Ice Hockey. So we will see how that plays out. So, yeah. It's like a half hour long. So I kind of want to get through everything kind of quick. So that way we can spend that half hour watching Ice Hockey. Basically, I want to get all the announcements done in the first hour. And then do everything else. And then do the Marble League for the second hour. Because Ice Hockey was pretty long. And I know one of the other events was kind of long as well. So yeah, I guess let's get into things. Let me pull up my Game Awards announcements. So, like I said earlier, we are not talking about every announcement. I do not possibly have that kind of time. We're just talking about the stuff that I either find interesting, the stuff I cared about, so on and so forth. But, you know, we'll hit up basically everything. We'll hit up all the big stuff. Also, I am not going in any particular order. I literally just found an IGN article, and that was every announcement. And then I just copied down the ones I liked, the ones I cared about, the ones I had things to say on. So, yeah. So, our first thing is the Elden Ring Night Rain. So, this was a really weird announcement, because, you know, Jeff Keighley came out, and he's like, hey, this is a beloved developer who has won Game of the Year in the past, and this is their new standalone project. And we start to see it, and it's like, oh, it's just Elden Ring, right? More Elden Ring DLC or whatever. This time focused on multiplayer. A multiplayer-focused Elden Ring, because technically Elden Ring has multiplayer, as do most From Software games, but it's actually pretty poorly implemented. Like, they're very basic at the end of the day, and like, the same way, like, it's not like a game like Fallout 76, or, what's another game with multiplayer? Right, the way Elden Ring does multiplayer, and the way Dark Souls, and maybe Bloodborne and Sekiro, I don't know, I've never played those ones. The way these games do multiplayer, and the way, right, an actual multiplayer, like Helldivers does multiplayer, admittedly, I don't know about Baldur's Gate, that's kind of a blind spot for me. Very different. Very different way of doing things. So, like, seeing an actual dedicated Elden Ring multiplayer, that sounds pretty cool. This is, of course, since then we found out some more information, and listening last night to the developers thing, this game is a roguelite. They don't use the word roguelite, but it's a roguelite. You're choosing between 1 and 8 characters. Instead of making your own character, you're choosing between 1 and 8 characters. and then you're doing roguelite style missions of fighting bosses, but it's also got battle royale elements because you're competing against you and your team are competing against other players who are also doing challenges, and it's kind of like last one standing wins. So there's a lot going on here. Like, I feel like Elden Ring roguelite is a good idea, right? In the same way I said Splatoon 3 roguelite is a good idea. There's definitely potential there. Making it a battle royale is very interesting. Like, I don't entirely know how to feel about that one. But other than that, I do think it is interesting. I've seen a lot of backlash to this, admittedly. Mainly that a lot of people think this is From Software selling out. That by, you know, chasing trends and making a multiplayer always online game. I'm amazed we won that. By making a multiplayer game, by making a roguelite, by making a battle royale, this is them selling out. That, oh, they're just chasing trends, you know, they're being forced to make stuff they won't want to make, because, you know, no other From Software game is like this. You know, it's like that whole controversy with the Last of Us online game. That, you know, just kind of died. A lot of people are like, oh, this is going to be that again. And I don't know if I'd go that far. Because, again, I think there are elements of this that works. I think another thing that this has going for it is that this is not a wholly original game. This is technically an asset flip. Because there are a lot of like all the bosses that we see in these trailers, or at least most of them anyways, are just bosses from previous, both Elden Ring and Dark Souls. Like, there are references to Dark Souls in here, there are references to Elden Ring. This is basically just an asset flip. Now, I know asset flip is a dirty word, but might I remind you, talent is an asset. You can reuse all the resources in the world, but if you're not a good developer, you're not going to make a good game. Right? That's why people hate asset flips, because they're made by shitty developers that just cobble stuff together. Right? Might I remind you, Fortnite was an asset flip. Right? PUBG, the game that inspired Fortnite, was an asset flip. Right? Developers have taken pre-existing, right, games, changed around what they did, and made something new. Echoes of Wisdom, one of the best Nintendo games this year, is kind of an asset flip because it uses a lot of stuff from the Link's Awakening remake, but it also reuses the map of Link to the Past in some ways. I mean, it's basically one step removed from an asset flip. So I think a lot of people, this is one of those things where it's like, it's going to be more curious to see people try it out and see what they get from it, that I think it is right now too early to judge this game, because, you know, all we've seen right now is one trailer, but I think it's actually coming out sooner than people think, because, you know, from what I think I remember reading, they're doing a beta test, or maybe it's an alpha test. They're doing a test of this game next month in January. Yeah, they're doing the first game test for this Elden Ring Night Rain next month. So this might be this might be closer than we think. Of course, we'll see, but yeah, I think that's very interesting. I don't know. Man, we just talked about that for almost 10 minutes. Ooh, we've got a lot of things to talk about. But yeah, no, will I play this? No. But I do think it's very interesting. Right? I think there are some people who want to write this off immediately. I think this is too early to write off. At least, okay, of course, once people get it in their hands. If it is a total just asset flip, you know, sell-out game, then yeah, sure. But I could also I see the potential here for this to be very fun. I just find it a multiplayer battle royale roguelite. That's so interesting. Next up, we got The Witcher 4. So, what was this God, I said it like 3 times last night, and I don't even remember what it was. Project Horizon? we knew that they were working on the next Witcher game. It's a while away. We did not get a release date. We didn't get any gameplay here. This was, I mean, it was an in-engine trailer, but other than that, you know, it's The Witcher 4. You're not playing as Geralt. You're playing as Cersei. And, right, we don't know time frame. We don't know anything else. This is, I'm gonna guess it's years away at this point. I don't want to say like 29, but I could see 27. I think this game is a while away. But, you know, from now that I've actually, like, watching it in the peripheral last night, you know, was kind of weird. But, yeah, it's CD Projekt Red. I know they burned a lot of goodwill on Cyberpunk. And, like, yeah, you know what? They fucked up. But guess what? They fixed it. And that's a part, you know, honestly, I say 2029 because I think that's totally in the cards. You know, Cyberpunk fucked up. They rushed the game out. Even though it had like a 10-year development, it was still rushed out. I think they're going to take their time and make something good. Right? They know people value The Witcher. I know the Netflix show has hurt the Witcher brand because, you know, TV writers think they're better than book writers and video game writers. For some stupid fucking reason, they keep thinking this. No matter how many times they're proven wrong. We just keep ending up back at the same well of TV writers thinking they're the best writers in the world, even though consistently they're proven wrong. Not that they can't. I mean, Breaking Bad's one of the best stories of all time. But, and so is Better Call Saul, but semantics. Right? They can do great stuff, but not all of them are. And especially when you're taking, like, something that people already like and being like, no, I'm a TV writer. I can do this better. Or I work in Hollywood, you know? I know this better than some fucking nerd. Yeah, this is years away. Of course, the anti-woke SJW, anti-SJW, anti-DEI crowd has already come out and be like, The Witcher is woke now. Oh my god, a female protagonist? The Witcher is woke. I guarantee you that's a YouTube video. Go on fucking, is it Asmongold? Right? I'm sure they've got on their stream they say The Witcher is woke. I'd bet money on it. Are they still on band? I don't know. They fucking suck. They can go fuck themselves with a rusty pitchfork. Next up, we might as well talk about Naughty Dog. You know, the other studio that's going to be claimed to have gone woke. That was accused of being woke back in, what, 21? Yeah, I think it was 2021. Right? They were accused of being woke, and now they're going to be accused of being woke again. So we see their new game. It's filled with product placement. Like everyone, like the thing that a lot of people, right, immediately you notice the spaceship has Porsche written on it. And the whole story, it's called Intergalactic, The Heretic Prophecy. What does this mean? I have no idea. It looks like our protagonist was part of a group. People have gone missing. People are dead. They're maybe trapped on a planet or something. We don't know much about it other than that. You know, there's a lot of little hints and clues that people are going to decipher and look into. But yeah, it's, you know, it's Naughty Dog. I'm glad to see them moving away from The Last of Us. Because I don't hate The Last of Us for the same reason that other people do. Right? I just mentioned the anti-woke, anti-DEI crowd. You know, the racists who want to say the N-word, but they know they'll get fired from their jobs if they do. So they instead just invent the word DEI. Like, that's not why I don't like The Last of Us. I don't like The Last of Us because it is an excess of misery. Right? It just, like... And that's my one hesitation with this, right? We know Neil Druckmann is back, he's directing. Not all of his games are excesses in misery, right? I'm looking for the word exercises. Exercises in misery. Right? They're not just the worst feelings in the world, but they can be. I don't want to play The Last of Us 2. Not because of any of the bullshit people complain about, but because it is an exercise in misery. It's a miserable game. Yeah, is it a good story? Probably. But that's not what I want. You know? Oh, challenge yourself. Okay, whatever the fuck you say, Cormac McCarthy. Yeah, I'm good. I don't need to play Neil Druckmann's dog torturing simulator. Thank you very much. So I have no interest, but in The Last of Us 2, I should say. This new setting, you know, The Last of Us or Uncharted I love. Uncharted is very different than The Last of Us, and I really like Uncharted. I like Uncharted. Uncharted 2 is one of the best PS3 games. I'm trying to think of other good PS3 games. The only other ones I can think of are Infamous, which I do also really enjoy. I'd probably say I enjoy Infamous more, but that's because I really do like those games. I think it's the second one. But yeah, no, I think this, you know, new start, fresh start. I'm liking what we see. The main character, I cannot remember the voice actress's name, but it's, they play Willow in The Owl House. They're also in the Last of Us TV show, but they play Willow in The Owl House. And I'm like, fuck yeah, that sounds great, you know? Man, Danny Motta's been going through The Owl House, so I'm kind of in the Owl House phase again. Like, they just wrapped up this week. Or last week, I guess. And man, it's been fun to go back through that show. Just kind of week by week. But yeah, no, you know what? Maybe this will be great. It's Neil Druckmann, it's Naughty Dog. They've earned themselves the benefit of the doubt. I'm glad they canceled their multiplayer game, because yeah, that's not what people wanted from Naughty Dog. A Naughty Dog multiplayer game doesn't sell systems. It was not a Naughty Dog single player game that sells consoles. People will buy a PS5 just to play a new Naughty Dog single player game. They will not buy it to play a multiplayer game. You know, a fucking cash grab. So, I hope this is good. We got Onimusha. Watching the stream last night, it's very clear I know nothing about Onimusha. I've seen people freak the fuck out about this, Tim Geddes. And I just know nothing about this franchise. I really, at some point, clearly should take a crash course, because people are clearly very excited for this, and I know nothing. I know nothing about Onimusha. I'm completely out of my wheelhouse. The name sounds, like, in hindsight, the name sounds familiar, but I couldn't actually tell you a single thing about it. So, yeah, I don't really have thoughts on it. You know, for the people who are excited, good for you. 2026, that's still like 2 years away. That's going to be a while. Next up, we have a new game from the developers of Ico and Shadow of the Colossus. It does not have a name. I think that's kind of weird. They didn't give it a name. They didn't even give it like a project. Like, there's like a new Yakuza game that's called Project Century. Like, at least you gave it a project name. I know there's the temptation of like, oh, well, we don't want to end up in an Entitled Goose Game, or, God, was The Last Guardian a temporary title? I feel like it might, there was a chance it was. No, I don't think so. I can't remember. You know, because there's a trend in modern gaming where temporary titles can become permanent ones. Not always, obviously, but it's happened more in, like, the past few years than it has before that. So there's a part of me that, like, gets the hesitation. But I think they should have just given it some sort of title, project something, you know. Just call it something, because it's weird to say new game from the developer of Last of Us, or from the Last Guardian, Ico, and Shadow of the Colossus. If this is, I remember earlier in the show saying like, hey, yeah, I knew there's a new project from Epic Games. I just couldn't remember who it was in collaboration with. And watching the trailer again, you know, actually like watching it this time, yeah, no, you totally get those Shadow of the Colossus vibes. 100%. I could tell, like, yeah, this is Shadow, just the way it climbs. I know that's such a different, like, because, like, you know, Breath of the Wild has climbing. But there's just a way that characters in Shadow of the Colossus climb. Do I hope this is more like Shadow of the Colossus than I do Last Guardian or Ico? Yes. Would I love this if it was just Shadow of the Colossus, but with giant robots where you're stealing their heads and, you know, something, taking them back to base? Basically, would I love this if this was just Shadow of the Colossus, but with a Death Stranding coat of paint? Yes, I would love that. But I'm sure it's going to be something else. It honestly, in a lot of ways, this does kind of remind me of the first trailer for Death Stranding, right? Where there's like all these weird elements and you're not exactly sure what's going on. The sci-fi themes are interesting, you know. Taking off in that head is very weird, but I do kind of like it. So I'm curious to see wherever this is going to go. This is years. It's the developer of Ico, The Last Guardian, and Shadow of the Colossus. This is years away, sadly. Because they take their sweet time with games. At some point, I really hope we get a remake of Ico. Or, you know, just have somebody remake Ico. Because I've played The Last Guardian. I've played Shadow of the Colossus a dozen times. Probably more than a dozen, honestly. I've never played Ico. Ico. I have never played that game. And I kind of want to, but I want it to be like remastered or remade or something. Just a port, right? I know Bloober Team's off doing something actually important. Is it Bloober? Bloober Team's the right team. Not Bloober Team. Who did the Shadow of the Colossus remake? Whoever did the Shadow of the Colossus remake and the Demon's Souls remake, I know they're working on something right now that's not an Ico thing, but like if you just, you know, get some small team together, have them just remaster Ico, make it look, you know, good, make it, you know, you don't have to change that much. Basically do what they did to Twilight Princess on the Wii U. I'd take that. Because how much do you really need to change? I'm sure it's more than we remember. And I don't need anything from the Shadow of the Colossus already got a remake. It's a great remake, by the way. And I don't need anything from Last Guardian. That game can be frustrating. It's got its moments, but it can be frustrating. We got Mafia: The Old Country. Okay, we knew about this one coming in. Yeah, you know, I'm admittedly not a big Mafia fan. Really haven't been. I feel like the last game people didn't really love. I kind of remember it being a little buggy and broken. I think maybe that was a remake. I don't know. I remember there was some issue at some point. But yeah, we're getting a new Mafia. Sonic Racing Crossworlds. So I started watching this. So last night on stream, I was sitting there and I saw the car. And I was like, okay, it's a racing game of some sort. And then I looked away just in time to miss Shadow the Hedgehog coming out. And then it wasn't until later on when they said, oh yeah, this is a new Sonic game. And I was like, wait, what? A new Sonic racing game? There's still a part of me that wishes we would just get Mario and Sonic teaming up for a racing game. Again, I'm still rooting for Mario Kart 9 being Nintendo Kart with Sonic. I think that's the right way to do it. But, you know, I saw Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed on the Wii U and other systems. I think it was on the Wii U and other systems. The Xbox 360, maybe? I don't know. Whatever that game was on, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, is probably the best Sonic racing game so far. I don't think there's a single Sonic racing game that even comes close to Mario Kart. But, you know, there are some that are better than others. And Racing Transformed is one of them. So if they take more influence from that, Sonic and All-Stars, that'd be cool. Definitely lean into the All-Stars angle, you know. That's kind of the one thing they really have ahead of Mario Kart, is, you know, they've got all these characters they can use, you know. All-Stars Racing Transform had Wreck-It Ralph in it. Which was that the game that was that the racing game that had the Yogscast? I know one of those racing games had the Yogscast. I know there was a racing game with the Yogscast in it. That might have been Sonic and All-Stars that had Honeydew. That kind of sounds right in my head. I don't know, I'm a little rusty. Either way, we saw nothing about this. We got no release dates or anything. But hey, they're working on it. Okay, cool. We got Dying Light, The Beast. I've said before, I'm a fan of the first Dying Light. I never played the second one. I really should get around to it. I'm sure I can find it on sale for relatively cheap nowadays. I don't know, I heard it was okay. I should probably get around to that. Yeah, we got a release window of summer 2025. One of the things going into this show is there's a lot of these games that are kind of... They don't want to, like, confirm a release date, because Grand Theft Auto is supposedly going to come out next year. Is it actually going to come out next year? Probably not. It'll get delayed until 26. There's no way it doesn't. I mean, if we can't get Silk Song in, what, 7 years, what makes you think we can get a GTA in, like, 10? That's ridiculous. No, we'll definitely see something about it next year, but I don't think we're gonna... I think it's gonna be delayed until 26. I would not be surprised... Right now we're expecting fall 26. I would not at all be surprised if it gets delayed until... Or fall 25, I mean. I fully expect it to get delayed a full year until fall 26. That, I think, is a very high likelihood of happening. Fall 26 would make sense. So yeah, fully do expect that. But hey, you know, we got this. Yeah, a lot of games are scared of announcing release dates because they don't want to release next to GTA 6. Because, you know, everyone's just going to play that. That's the thing. Everyone's just going to play GTA 6. Like, the only company that can is Nintendo. Because Nintendo does not compete with GTA 6. They're kind of playing two different leagues. In fact, I would not at all be surprised if Nintendo announces a game to come out the same day as GTA 6. That's like Mario's Wacky World or something like that. You know, the tonal opposite for all the people who won't be playing GTA 6. I could totally see something like that. They've done it in the past. I mean, most famously Doom and Animal Crossing, but... You know, I'm sure when GTA 5 came out, that was like around the same time they released like Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire or something like that. We got Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. So this is the developers of the game Blasphemous. If you've never heard of Blasphemous, it is an indie game. It's a Metroidvania, but it's very like gothic horror. It's very good. I've never played the second one, but the first one, which I don't think I ever beat actually, the first one was very good. It's very well done, beautiful pixel art, and guess what? This is some beautiful pixel art. This game, right, this new... I'm not a big Ninja Gaiden fan. Like, even, like, its spirituals... Like, the original Ninja Gaiden suck, right? They're games that are difficult for the purpose of being difficult. So that way, you know, you'd keep spending more quarters at the arcade. Or, you know, like, oh, that gives it perceived value because it's so hard. That way it won't feel like you regret spending your money on buying a single NES game that costs, like, $70. Or whatever the fuck. Right, like, they're part of the bullshit era of NES games. Which was a lot of NES games. Because, you know, people were designing games like they were arcade games, pinching quarters, and a whole other number of factors. I don't know, I don't really care for the original Ninja Gaidens. The remakes on Xbox were a little better. Like, I know they did things a little differently. I remember hearing some good things and some bad things about them. But that was, God, a decade ago now. This, and then the spiritual successor to the Ninja Gaiden, The Messenger, I was not a big fan of. It's okay. I'm just not it wasn't for me. You know, kind of like the other one, the one that Yacht Club did. I'm forgetting the name of it. It's not First Blood. It's not Rambo. It was Cyber Shadow? Cyber Shadow sounds correct. Which was, you know, Ninja Gaiden inspired. That game was okay. I wasn't blown away by it. So I'm not a huge fan of Ninja Gaiden games. But, you know, this has some beautiful pixel art. It's got good developers behind it. I'm sure this will be pretty good. Right? Even if it's not my cup of tea, I'm sure it is somebody's. And compared to some of these other announcements, I trust this one way more than others. We got Slay the Spire 2. I think we knew this game existed. Like, I'm pretty sure this had already been announced, but this might have been our first gameplay. You know, we found out it's coming out in early access next year, which is pretty exciting. So yeah, I like Slay the Spire. I'm just not very good at it. That's the only reason I haven't played more of it. It's just because I'm very bad at it. Like no matter how much I try to learn, I'm just not very good. Like, I've been doing way better at Luck Be a Landlord than I am at Slay the Spire. Because they're both deck building games. That's my connection there. But yeah, you know, we got that. But you know, it's cool. That's cool. We got Shadow Labyrinth. This is a Metroidvania game made by Bandai Namco that takes influence from Pac-Man. So imagine like a Metroidvania, imagine Metroid Dread, but instead of the Emmys hunting you down, it's like a shadowy nightmare Pac-Man. I know that sounds very fucking weird, but there was actually an episode of the show Secret Level that I think came out last week. That was basically that premise, that, you know, it was Pac-Man, but it was this weird, like, shadow evil Pac-Man. I don't know, I've heard a lot of mixed things about Secret Level. I admittedly have not watched it. But yeah, it's kind of like you know how like Concord was like, oh, Sony, you know, they made Concord, they were doing a big push, so they gave it an episode of Secret Level to kind of pitch the game. But the game died before it had been pitched in Secret Level. That's kind of what this is like. Okay, they pitched the idea, you know, they have the Shadow Pac-Man game, Shadow Labyrinth. And then they pitched it to Secret Level and are like, hey, let's make an episode about this to promote Shadow Labyrinth. So, you know what? This might be good. I mean, I'm always... If this is a single-player Metroidvania, which it might be, I could see this being good. Honestly, I could see the possibility of where this is good. I know this isn't the first ever reimagining of Pac-Man. Far from it. But, you know, there's potential there. We got Rematch. So this is the developer of Sifu, a fighting game that's, you know... Yeah, it's a fighting game, sure, whatever you say, game. It's a fighting show, it's a fighting game, and the bear is a comedy show. Whatever you say, Game Awards. But this is, right, the developers of Sifu. We thought they were, I was fully expecting them to talk about the movie, right? Listening to, again, kind of funny, they brought up that, hey, Sifu's getting a movie, which is very weird, but, you know, whatever. No, instead they're making a soccer game. It's called Rematch. Someone had a really funny joke name for it. Like, oh, what was it that they said? It was... I don't remember what it was. There was a really fun, and kind of funny yesterday. There was when we were listening to the podcast. Someone had a really funny joke name for it. But yeah, you know, taking the combat of a game like Sifu and being like, yep, we're going to apply that to a soccer game. It feels a lot... It's weird, because, you know... Rocket League is based on soccer. But yet, this game feels like it's based on Rocket League. Like, imagine if you took... Okay, so Rocket League, you know, is their take on soccer. Imagine if you took their take on soccer, but applied it back to people. You would get the game Rematch. Like, it's weirdly Rocket League inspired, even though, again, it's just a soccer game. It's hard to describe. It's one of those things where it's like, it's hard to describe, but it's just got that feeling. So I think it is very interesting. Will I actually play this? Probably not. But, you know, it's interesting. It's different. Okay. I've seen people actually get excited for this, outside of the name, which I think the name is fine. I know some people think it's dumb. It kind of is, but I get it. I kind of get it. I think it looks fine. We got the Outer Worlds 2, you know, developers of Obsidian, developers of New Vegas, developers of other good games that, you know, the first Outer Worlds was fine. It didn't blow me away like something like New Vegas, but it was fine. You know, I enjoyed it for what it was. It was one of the first games I played on Game Pass, actually. It was, by that sense, it was kind of like a great Game Pass game. But yeah, I totally see, like, hey, you know, we're going to do the Outer Worlds 2. It's big right there. They say it's twice the size of the original. I think that's a good idea. The Outer Worlds had some great, you know, it had some great moments. I am kind of worried about Obsidian's new game, Avowed, which comes out in February, and I'm not all that excited for it. Like, I'm actually more excited for the Outer Worlds 2 than I am Avowed. I want it to be good, but if it's not, I sadly wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. I'm not going to say that Avowed was stuck in development hell, but it kind of feels like something went wrong at some point. Because Avowed and the Outer Worlds 2 were announced at the same time, and we're only getting Avowed now, and the Outer Worlds 2 is also probably coming out next year. If it gets delayed until 26, I will not at all be surprised. Like, I could see that being pushed until, like... Because, like, the whole reason Avowed actually is only coming out in February, not because of game problems, allegedly. It's because, you know, the spring season was pretty packed, or the fall season was pretty packed. You know, Indiana Jones just came out last week. So that's probably why they pushed it. Allegedly. But yeah, you know, more Outer Worlds. You know, the first game was good. It was nothing amazing, but it was good. It had its moments. Again, I remember a subplot early on about, like, renting graves. Because, you know, it's capitalist dystopia. And people would literally rent their grave. And, like, you know, there's a lot of fucked up stuff like that, you know. It was good. It was good. I wondered to see what they're doing. I think of the Stupendium song a lot for some reason. When I think of Outer Worlds, Oh, how... I say that, but now I can't even think of how it goes. All I can think of is their stupid can one. Only Cans, or whatever it's called. How... I'd know it if I heard it. I clearly can't think of the lyrics right now, but whatever. So, oh, you forgot that you're part of the company's property. Your company property. Did you not read the company policy? That the ones you was company property. Something like that. I don't know. Next up, we got Split Fiction. This is Joseph Ferris's new game. Joseph Ferris is a developer I have complicated feelings on. I think he's great, but he's definitely out there. He's made some interesting games. Brothers, I have no real thoughts on. A Way Out is okay. Like, there's definitely... It's growing steps. That's I guess how I'd put it. It's growing steps. You know, they have good ideas. They're just kind of... They need some more time to get there. And then you had A Way Out, which was that, right? They moved past the growing steps. They made a great game. It won Game of the Year. I mean, I really like that it actually... In hindsight, I really like that A Way Out won Game of the Year. I admittedly have not played It Takes Two. I was saying It Takes Two. I have not played it. My parents have. And oh boy. Actually, so technically, I guess technically that's not true. I have played It Takes Two, mostly just to help them beat that game. Because while It Takes Two is a good game, it is very long. And for people with no gaming skill whatsoever, it is very difficult and has very few accessibility features. So that is something I do hope the next one has. Give us more accessibility features, so that way, you know, if people who aren't that versed in games, but, you know, still like the idea of co-op gaming, can have a better experience. That's kind of, I guess, my one big hope for Split Fiction. But other than that, I think Split Fiction is a great concept. It's a story in which two writers working for the same company are sucked into their books. One is a sci-fi writer, and the other is a fantasy writer. So they're doing very different things. Like that, like, It Takes Two and A Way Out. We're all like, okay, you're in, like, similar scenarios. I know a lot of the puzzles in, It Takes Two were like, hey, one player has, like, an explosive gun, and the other player has, like, explosive jelly. So the character with explosive jelly has to cover the enemy in the explosive jelly, and then the character with the explosive gun has to shoot them. So that way it, like, fully blows them up. There were a lot of puzzles in It Takes Two like that. Trust me, I've done a few. Or I've helped out with a few. But I feel like this is going to take it like, hey, they're in one's in a fantasy world, one's in a sci-fi world. They're dealing with two very different experiences. There's clearly some wild shit going on. You know, the whole thing with one of them being sausages, like, that's the kind of weird shit that I love. Like, I'm totally interested in however you get there. I just hope, you know, It Takes Two won Game of the Year, but it had some problems. I hope they, you know, fix some of those, or, you know, maybe make the game a little more tightly knit. Let's put it like that. Because it was very long. But it was good. You know, it was good. My misgivings aside, it is a good game. What I played of it, I did like. A similar game, another Ferris-like, as I'm going to call it for the moment, because I think that's funny. The developers of Overcooked made a new game called Stage Fright, which also, you know, it's a split-screen multiplayer game. You and, you know, a friend working together to do whatever the task is. I think that's really interesting. I think that looks good. You know, again, there's clearly Joseph Fares has figured out how to make this type of game work. You know, and he's not the only developer to do these asynchronous style multiplayer games, but he's clearly figured something out. And, you know, It Takes Two won Game of the Year. I keep saying that because, yeah, it totally did. I think it won it in 2021. That sounds right off the top of my head. I mean, yeah, no, it's going to be cool to see what he does. It's going to be cool to see what he does again, and it's going to be cool to see what the Stage Fright thing is. I trust the developers of Overcooked. I have also... Their game I have played. I have 100% of the original Overcooked, and I played like half of Overcooked 2. Overcooked 2 is... you know, I have very complicated feelings about the first Overcooked, mainly because I hate the dishes, but it is a technically sound game that has a few balancing problems. Specifically, I hate the fact that the only reason I've 100%ed the first Overcooked is because you basically have to beat the game. Like, you know how, like, when we were playing Astrobot, there are 300 bots you have to collect for 100% complete, right? For 100% completion, you need 300 bots, but you only need 200 to beat the game. The first Overcooked does not work like that. Like, let's just say there are 100 stars to collect. To beat the game, you need 98. That sucks. That, like, I feel like because, like, I think of Mario Odyssey. Mario Odyssey has, like, 800 moons. You only need, like, 120 to beat the game. You only need 500 to get, you know, to do the super secret bonus level. And there's another 400 on top of that. Okay, 300 on top of that. So, I don't know. That's my problem with the first Overcooked. The second one didn't have that same... At least I don't remember it having that same issue. It was a little bit more lenient. But, yeah. We got Borderlands 4. I'll be honest, I don't really care. Like, even fans of I've heard, even from fans of Borderlands, the trailer for Borderlands 4 was not great. You know, it does not look all that spectacular. Right, a lot of people feel like it's a very much a tonal shift from where the previous games were. You know, the previous Borderlands games, at least 1 and 2, you know, they were more comical, they were more jokey, you know, they played themselves up. They had fun with their soundtracks. These ones are 3 and now 4 potentially seem to be taking themselves a lot more seriously, which in theory sounds like a good thing. Like, you know, there's nothing wrong with taking yourself more seriously, but in execution, it just doesn't seem to work. At least not as well as it should. So yeah, I mean, I didn't play the last Borderlands game I played was 2. I enjoyed 2. But 3 had its problems, and I'm not gonna play 4. We got Dispatch. So this is a Telltale style game where you are a superhero dispatcher. You know, you work for an agency that dispatches superheroes. It's got Aaron Paul in it. It's got Laura Bailey in it. It's got a bunch of YouTubers in it. I think Alana Pierce is in it. Moist Critical's in it. You know, some of those voice YouTubers. There's a bunch more that I would not be at all surprised if they make it in there somewheres. But yeah, you know, it's one of those things where I feel like the more I saw of it, because we did actually see some gameplay. I think the better it looked. Like, yeah, is it weird, like, a superhero game where you're playing a dispatcher, but it's like a Telltale style game? I feel like there's potential there. I totally feel like this could work out. But we'll just have to wait and see. And then, of course, the announcement I saved for last, the one that I am probably the most excited for, they announced that a sequel to Okami is in development. This isn't Okami Den. You know, this is like a proper, honest-to-God sequel. It sucks that we didn't find because Okami is in Astrobot, and I realized, like, after the stream, like, oh, it sucks that we didn't actually find them as one of the robots. But yeah, no, Okami is a fantastic game. If you have never played it before, it is currently on sale on all major systems. If you have, right, the Switch version, I think there's a PlayStation version. If you want to get this game, if you've never played it before, there is no better time to play it now. You don't need to play Okami Den. Chugga Conroy put out a tweet saying that he feels like Okami Den hasn't aged well, and it's not actually that good of a game. But yeah, I actually did not pick up the Switch port of Okami. I think it was just Okami HD. I did not... Oh, okay, it looks like it's not on sale on PlayStation. I swear I saw it's on sale on Switch. Either way, if it is on sale, I might actually just go pick it up right now. I'm going to guess $5... Maybe it's on sale on Xbox. Maybe that's what I was thinking of. Maybe not PlayStation. Maybe it was Xbox. Either way, if you have never played Okami, the closest thing I could compare it to is a Zelda game. Like, that's the closest comparison I could make. It is very good. It is considered a classic. But unlike a game like Shenmue, because that's what this reveal reminds me of. Because this is not, you know, this is, hey, the sequel is in development. Presumably, it just started development. You know, Hideki Kamiya's back. You know, there's a lot of good going on here, right? But this reminds me of Shenmue, because, you know, it was, hey, the developer's back. Of course, the developer of Shenmue did announce a new game, but it's a mobile game that nobody gives a shit about and will probably die. That's so fucking harsh, but man, Shenmue 3 was bad. Yeah, those Shenmue games do not hold up. The Yakuza games are so much better. They took everything that didn't work about Shenmue, cut some of it, and actually made a good game. Shenmue does not hold up, and Shenmue 3 was awful. This, on the other hand, I'm hopeful that the Shenmue Legacy isn't like gonna haunt this one. I hope this one is good. I hope they do a good job here. Cause yeah, a new Okami, you know, fuck yeah. It's probably my most hyped announcement out of everything here. Yeah, cause it's Okami, man. Who doesn't love Okami? I know it's got some problems. Was Okami the one that had motion control issues? I don't remember. I know there are some issues with Okami. It's been a while, but it's a very good game. High recommendation. I don't know. I would say I'm going to play it again, but I'm probably not going to play it again. At least right now. But I pick it up just because it's on sale. Because I meant to buy the Switch port. And then I just didn't. I just didn't get around to it. You know, any number of reasons, honestly. So yeah, that's all. So that's all the major announcements. Yeah, that's all the major announcements. And yeah, I honestly So I'll say this: the Game Awards is getting better and better every year. I feel like every year, Jeff Keighley learns from the mistakes of the previous years. Not all of them, but he learns some of his mistakes. And he tries to make the next show a little better. And I feel like going into this year, this could just be a stars aligning thing. But, you know, getting a new Elden Ring, getting Okami, getting a new Naughty Dog game, getting a new Joseph Fares game, all these things kind of lined up to make some really good announcements. Because no matter how much Jeff Keighley approves the awards part of the Game Awards, if the announcements aren't there, you're gonna have a worse show. So I think this is actually a pretty good Game Awards, and I think at least half of that, maybe more than half, let's say half, let's just be generous, is owed to the fact that he had a lot of really good announcements. The stars aligned this year. You know, next year's looking like a pretty good year in gaming, even though some of these games aren't coming out until 26, 27. Like, the only one like, Joseph Fares' game is in, like, March. You know, there's a few things in, like, summer. But yeah, I think that really having a bunch of announcements really helps. Having good announcements, so, you know, and as these shows get better, and Jeff Keighley builds more bridges, you know, he's gonna get more bigger announcements. You know, he got Naughty Dog here, but, you know, he's gonna just keep strengthening his relationship with PlayStation. He's gonna, you know, maybe he builds back that relationship with Nintendo. And while they never announced, like, the Switch 2, you know, maybe they'll do some other big reveal. You know, maybe they'll show off a new Bayonetta. Maybe they'll show off new Mario Kart characters like they did Smash Bros. Characters. You know, anything's possible. Because, yeah, more people will trust him. Oh, my God. Okay, that took us an hour. And we still got at least another... Okay, so the next thing we ought to talk about is the award part of the Game Awards. So let me pull up the awards. Give me a second. So a few weeks ago, we made predictions for the Game Awards, like what I thought was going to win. And now here we are. I wrote down my predictions. I went through today and I looked at all the winners and see, hey, what did I get right? What did I get wrong? So on and so forth. So we're just going to go through each of these categories. As you can see, I started off really well. Right? Things went really well at first. And I kind of fell apart near the end. Let's just kind of go through it all. So, best esports game, I don't even think we talked about this one, but I knew it was going to be League of Legends because of Arcane. Hey, League of Legends. Queso, of the 5 streamers nominated, the only ones I knew were Queso and Usada Pecora. I would have been fine if Usada Pecora won, but I wanted Queso to win, representative of fat guys like me. And the fact that listening to Queso talk about, his nomination, he was actively like, I don't think I should win this. I don't want to, right? I'm not going to do, right? I don't want this. I can't do a Queso impression, But, right, he was like actively like, oh, there's no way I'm going to win this. He was being extremely humble about it, And so, of course, that's why he should win. And yeah, he was very respectful. I watched his reaction to him winning, and his mom calls to congratulate him. And he's like, yeah, I got that W, Mom. Oh, yeah, W, Mom. Like, it was very weird. But, it's nice that he won. I liked he gave like a little speech that was like, this shows that even a guy like me living in a trailer can do anything, can be anything. And I really like that. So yeah, I'm glad Queso won it. Grand Theft Auto, most anticipated game. Like, no shit. Obviously. Fallout, I'll be honest. I thought there was a pretty good chance that Arcane was going to take it. I wanted there were 5 shows nominated. I'd only seen 2 of them. I still need to see Arcane. I will. I don't know why I'm glitching out so much. You see that where I'm like turning invisible for a second? Something's fucked up somewheres. I keep noticing it. Was that an issue yesterday? I don't remember that being an issue yesterday. Fuck. Does that fix it? Okay, that might fix it. I don't know. We'll see. Nope, that did not fix shit. I wanted Fallout to win. I saw Fallout. It was very good. I highly... Oh, you know what? Actually, wait. I might have done that backwards. Give me a second. I'm gonna fix this. Okay, maybe what does that do it? I think that might do it. What about that? Does that I don't know. We'll see. I might have just fixed it. I might have also just broken things even worse than I did. So Fallout, I wanted... No, I didn't. I wanted Fallout to win. Fallout is a very good show. Honestly, it's maybe the best. There are some good Fallout games, I'll defend New Vegas from here to high heaven. I personally really enjoy Fallout 4. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it's totally mine. The Fallout show is the best thing to come out of Fallout. The Fallout show is really good. I very much recommend it. And I'm excited for the next season. That's already filming, so that's great. Helldivers, again, Helldivers, for the most part, it's kind of fallen off, but at the time, it was cool. At the time, it was the biggest thing in the world. Helldivers was massive. So, coming in here now, I was kind of hopeful that, maybe it was going to win Best Multiplayer Game. That was a strong possibility that, that could happen. So to actually, see it win Best Multiplayer Game, you know what? Good. They worked hard. They deserve it. Sure. There were no sports and racing games this year, but something had to win. EA won. Let's move on. Sims Strategy, I'd heard a lot of positive things about Unicorn Overlord, so I thought that one was going to take it. And went to Frostpunk 2. I've also heard good things about Frostpunk 2, so that's good. Best Nintendo Game, I know Nintendo had like 3 things nominated. I think the only other nomination was Plucky Squire. It was going to go to Astrobot. In most categories, if there's a Game of the Year or if there's a Game of the Year nominated, it's probably going to go to that Game of the Year. So, Astrobot, it was obviously going to be win for Best Family Game. I liked the speech the guy gave, though, where when talking about like why it's important that Astrobot wins Best Family Game, he was talking about how for many kids, Astrobot is going to be their first game. You know, in the same way for, you know, people like me, Mario or Pokemon, you know, was our first game. For this next generation, Gen Alpha, you know, the younger end of Gen Alpha, I guess, Astrobot's going to be their first video game. And it's going to mean the world to them. And, you know, they're going to share it with their families, or their families are sharing it with them. No, it was a good speech. Honestly, the guy who did all the speeches for Astrobot knocked it out of the park every time he did it. And yeah, that was a great one. Tekken 8, honestly, again, kind of like sports games, the showing for fighting games this year was really underwhelming. So Tekken 8 was like the best one, and I've actually heard it is a good game. So yeah, you know, good that it won. I know they announced a new character. It's a Final Fantasy character, I think, but everyone wanted Tifa, and it kind of sucks that it's not Tifa, because I totally get why people want Tifa. She's awesome. Alright, and that's not me being, like, ironic or anything. That's, like, me being genuine. Like, Tifa's great. I totally get why people want Tifa in Tekken, and it kind of sucks that she's not there. I thought role-playing game, you know, there were 3 games in this category nominated for Game of the Year. I figured Shadow of the Erdtree was going to walk away with something. Because, spoiler alert, Shadow of the Erdtree did not win a single award this year. Of the 6 games nominated for Game of the Year, it is the only one that did not win a single award. That kind of, you know, you hear a lot of these critics talk about how, like, oh, you know, Shadow of the Erdtree is only nominated because it's one of the best games, right? It's important. It matters. It's DLC. Okay, how do I put this? Greg Miller said that people who are mad at Shadow of the Erdtree for being nominated should not be mad at From Software. They should not be mad at the Game Awards. They should be mad at the rest of the industry that could not produce 6 games that were better than it. That's the problem. Right, Shadow of the Erdtree, yeah, and I know people say, well, oh, Helldivers was really good. Silent Hill was really good. So on and so forth. But yet everyone thought Elden Ring was better than those games. So, like, it's really a problem on the rest of the gaming industry. And there's a part of me that hopes that because Astrobot, you know, won and walked away with so much, that, you know, people, again, there's always this hope every year that because these games, you know, sell well, are critically acclaimed, that maybe this will be the year that the developers finally listen and make, you know, more single-player games. Nobody wants multiplayer stuff. I know I was defending Elden Ring's multiplayer earlier. Nobody wants multiplayer games. They want single-player games, sell systems. Elden Ring sells systems. Shadow of the Erdtree sells systems. Well, I don't think a multiplayer game will, but we'll see. But no, I thought Elden Ring would at least walk away with something. But no, it got outclassed in every category. Metaphor won. Good for Metaphor. I've heard it's great. Astrobot won Best Action Adventure. Again, I'll stand by Action Adventure is a very dumb category name. But again, Astrobot was nominated. It was going to win. Black Myth Wukong won Best Action Game. Honestly, there was a part of me that thought this was going to be kind of like Spider-Man last year, where Spider-Man was nominated for like 5 awards and didn't not walk away with a single one. I kind of figured Black Myth Wukong was going to be that this year, where it was going to be nominated for a bunch of stuff, but it wasn't going to walk away with a single award. I did not expect that to be Elden Ring. I did not expect Elden Ring to walk away with nothing. But it did. Yeah, Black Myth Wukong won this one. It wins another award later on. You know, for the people who like that game, good for you. I have this one wrong, actually. Ooh. I thought Asgard... I've heard great things about Asgard Wrath 2. Batman Arkham Shadow is recent. There's a part of me that thinks this is recency bias playing into effect. But I've also heard it's good, so I don't know. Balatro won Best Mobile Game. Yeah, it's only competition where a bunch of gacha games, and that's including Pokemon. Yeah, no, of course Balatro was gonna win. I was hoping that Animal Well was gonna walk away with something. I even said I say this every year, because there's always so many good indie games. I always hope debut and best indie I hope they're won by different people. Because while I get it, they're both doing similar things. If the best indie game is a debut game, they will always win together, right? Both Balatro won both this year. But yeah, I would have loved to see Animal Well take away something, because Animal Well is also very good. I predicted Helldivers for community support, and went to Baldur's Gate 3. People love Baldur's Gate 3. Still a great game. I predicted Helldivers for best ongoing. Guess what? It's still ongoing. People still like it. A new update dropped last night, and I've actually seen people hop back onto the game and play it again. Yeah, this might have revived Helldivers. It also might not have. We'll see. Games for Impact, I just didn't want Life is Strange to win it. Hey, Neva won. Good for the developers. Good for the developers of Gris and Neva. I've heard Closer to the Distance is good, but, sure. This is the one I am excited for. When looking at the accessibility, I feel like accessibility was kind of underwhelming this year, but the one game that stood out to me personally was Prince of Persia. I loved what Prince of Persia did. And there was a part of me that thought that it wasn't going to get the recognition for that, or that, maybe like Dragon Age did something better. No, it won Innovation and Accessibility. An award it 100% deserves. It was pretty good. So yeah, I'm actually out of all the awards tonight, this is probably the one I'm second happiest with, behind the obvious. Milana Jurgens won for Hellblade 2, right? Senua's Saga, I mean. You know what? They won the award last time. They won it again. I thought there was a chance it could have gone to Brianna White, because I knowing what I know about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I just kind of figured. But, good for them. Best audio design, Silent Hill's a horror game. Senua's Saga has horror elements. One of them was going to win. They walked away with something. Score and music, I thought, Metaphor, Final Fantasy VII, it's a Final Fantasy game. They all have great music. That doesn't surprise me at all, actually. Black Myth Wukong, I thought was going to take Best Art Direction. I think I just picked one. And I think the only reason I didn't pick Metaphor was because I had heard people describe Metaphor as the prettiest ugly game. So that's kind of why I figured it wasn't going to win. But no, it did actually win, so, good for Metaphor, I guess. Best Narrative, I said Metaphor. Sure enough, they won Best Narrative. Yeah, it's the Persona devs. Of course they won it. Kind of like Best Debut Indie and Best Indie, I kind of wanted a split that I knew wasn't going to happen. Astrobot walking away with another award, that's great. And then they won Game of the Year. And yeah, I loved their Game of the Year acceptance speech, where they come out, and even though they couldn't say Nintendo, they said Mario, right? They're like, hey, because this was the fourth award they won. Of the 5 categories they were nominated for, they won 4 of them. This was basically Astrobot sweep, right? And I think that was, again, every nominee for Game of the Year walked away with at least one thing, except for Elden Ring. Right? Final Fantasy walks away with something, with 1, I think. Metaphor walks away with 3. Black Myth Wukong walks away with, I think, 2? Right there, and... Okay, maybe it only walks away with 1. And then, Balatro ran away with 3. So, right, every except for Elden Ring. But, so this was their third time coming up. And when they did... There was just I was really happy they won. There's watching the stream last night, it's very clear that I'm very focused on playing the game, but I'm excited for them. But yeah, going up, hearing their speech, and them talking about how, they exist because they stood on the shoulders of giants. That they grew up playing Nintendo games, that inspired them, and now hopefully their game will inspire the next generation. I think that's fantastic. Of course, since this has been revealed, right, I totally think Astrobot should have, right? It's because if it didn't win, I mean, what else? It was going to be Elden Ring. I know they didn't walk away with anything else. I wouldn't have been surprised if Elden Ring was second. That would not at all surprise me. I know people hate that. And there was a part of me that wonders if there was like a counter push that like, hey, once Elden Ring was announced as a nomination, people kind of like pushed back in the opposite direction, and critics were like, you know what, I guess you're right, there is a part of me that hopes that next year we do get a DLC category, but I stand by the stipulation that there should be a best DLC category, but games in it should still be eligible for Game of the Year. That's my thing. That's my compromise. Games are still eligible for Game of the Year if they're a DLC or a remake or a remaster, but they have their own category. Yep. Of course, that has the total possibility of like what the Oscars does with animation. Technically, any animated movie can be nominated for an Oscar, but they never do, so that's totally possible. But we'll just kind of have to wait and see. But no, I've seen so many videos about Astrobot. I have seen some people freak out to the point where I thought it was fake at first, where they're like so mad that Black Myth Wukong didn't win that they're like freaking out. And at first I was like, oh, this is a parody, right? This is somebody making fun of those crybaby baby boys. And then you realize like, oh no, this is a crybaby baby boy. Oh, loser. Get the L, loser. But no, I'm glad Astrobot won. It deserves it. It's an amazing game. It literally just got a new DLC yesterday that looks great. It's a Christmas level. It looks great. I have not played it. I will. But no, I'm really impressed. I would say we just play it right now, but no, I'm good. I'm glad it won. There was something else I wanted to say about it. It is one of those things where it's like, I wonder if it would have won in previous years. Because, well, this was a good year for games. Looking at all these nominees, all these winners, it was a good year for video games. But, like, I think about last year was one of the best year for gaming. And I don't think Elden Ring would have won last year. Like, last year you had stuff like, Tears of the Kingdom, Baldur's Gate, Alan Wake, Spider-Man, and then you had Super Mario Wonder. And, like, Super Mario Wonder was really good. I would say it and Astrobot are very comparable, but that's comparing a 10 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10. So, like, where does it really add up? I'd say Astrobot's better, but again, they're similar. Mario Wonder didn't win last year. But could it, if it had released this year, could it have won? Like, let's say Astrobot had released last year and Mario Wonder had released this year. Would Mario Wonder have won Game of the Year? I think it's possible. Right? Like I think, again, like, put any of these games in 2019 and they win. Because 2019 was an awful year for gaming. But, like, or even, like, something like 2017, where Mario Wonder or Mario Odyssey was nominated. Like, could Astrobot have won in 2017 against, Horizon, Tears of the Kingdom? I want to say Persona 5 was that year. Probably not. But it's a good game this year. It's one of the best games this year. And that doesn't take... I don't think that takes away from the fact that the other games were good as well. Is this the best year in gaming? No. But it still was a really good year in gaming. And I think Astrobot totally deserves it. And I love that game. Again, I literally played it through the entire thing yesterday. So I do highly recommend it. So that's all the awards. I do have a few stray thoughts before we move on to our second news story. Firstly, why can I not spell Twitter? Let's see. Just a few other things that happened in the show, you know, a few miscellaneous things that I didn't put anywhere else. It was cool seeing Harrison Ford come out and, you know, being like, hey, here's Harrison Ford, you know, the original Indiana Jones, and here's Troy Baker, the new Indiana Jones, along with Todd Phillips. God, Todd is short. I forget, he's like 5'6" or something like that. And it's not something I really think about until I see him next to Troy Baker, who's like 6'4". And then Harrison Ford's like 6. Maybe 6'1". But yeah, no, that was neat. You know, Greg Miller 1000% called that. I don't know, the first second it happened, I was like, no, it's not actually going to happen. Because I'm surprised they didn't promote Brave New Captain America, like, at all. Because that's the only reason he would do something like this. Because I'm pretty sure that's why Anthony Mackie was at last year's Game Awards. Which, you know what I will say about this year's Game Awards? Like, I think of Anthony Mackie's speech at the Game Awards last year. And how weird it was, and how long it was. Anthony Mackie was really weird at last year's Game Awards. And, you know, usually the Game Awards is filled with, like, weird celebrity cameos. I felt like they were very... Again, Jeff getting better at the show. I felt like the celebrity cameos were very underplayed this year. And I feel like that really benefited the show. Like, Harrison Ford's cameo was really short. You know, Kojima did some stuff. You know, he gave out an award, but he didn't go on for too long, you know. Then, it's like, the Aaron Paul... Like, the longest one was the Aaron Paul thing. Which the Aaron Paul thing was fine. Especially because, unlike, like, previous times where it's like, oh, we're just going to bring out Anthony Mackie and let him ramble for 10 minutes. Right? This was a lot shorter than that. So yeah, you know, I feel like, again, Jeff makes the show better and better every year. And yeah, he definitely learned from his mistakes. Or, you know, he's improved. I don't even know if I'd call them all mistakes. It's just he's getting better. You know, he's learning more, he's getting better. Right, he addresses his criticism. Speaking of that, he had Statler and Waldorf from the Muppets, and, you know, occasionally, like, during the breaks, they would come on and they would read some tweets, you know, they'd make fun of Jeff. The one that I've seen everyone reposting is the bit where they make fun of Jeff for being friends with Kojima, right, where it's like, oh yeah, Jeff and Kojima are friends. Does Kojima know that? That was funny. And there were a bunch of little moments like that. I know some people will read that as, like, oh, that's him just shrugging off criticism, right? Like, oh, he's taking, like, people's legitimate complaints and having them read by Muppets. And, like, I get that, except for the fact that I do feel like in other points in the show, he addressed the genuine criticism. Like, yeah, he played it tongue-in-cheek with Statler and Waldorf, but he also did genuinely address the criticism. So, like, I get why that complaint exists, but I actually think he did do a good job at, talking about it. There is this moment where I realized, I don't think I mentioned it last night, but I kind of realized, like, you know, the Game Awards wants the prestige of the Oscars. But in actuality, they're just the MTV Music Video Awards. And I know some people, right, because, like, I've seen some people be like, oh, well, the Game Awards only gives out awards to people who show up. Not always true, but that's how the MTV Music Video Awards work. Like, the only reason Taylor Swift wins every year at those things is because she's the only person to show up. And while, you know, the MTV Music Video Awards lose more and more of their relevancy every year, I mean, we got a damn good performance from Chappell Roan this year, so, like, I'm not really complaining that much. It was actually one of the better years for the MTV Music Video Awards. But that's regardless, you know, that was kind of a realization I had. Like, I've definitely thought that before, but I definitely remembered it watching last night, because, you know, I think of, like, categories like games for impact, where it's like, this is a very, like, on one hand, I like the category, because there's a lot of good games in it, but, like, does a serious award show really have that? Like, do they? And, like, I know the Serious Game Awards is the DICE Awards, which I've compared to the Emmys in the past. Like, if you want, like, a genuine, like, serious Game Award show that's not advertisements but awards, go watch the DICE Awards. Greg Miller hosts them usually, and they're okay. So we had that. We have, of course, you had the Game Awards Orchestra. They knock it out of the park every year. Of course, we got Flute Guy. The big guy, the one I noticed was the person on the guitar guy. I don't remember if it was a guy or a girl. Either way, I do remember them. You know, they came out, they shredded, they did a good job. Flute Guy knocks it out of the park every time. Like, of course they do. I can't remember if Flute Guy is part of Hans Zimmer's orchestra. That sounds right in my head. They're really good at what they do. They knock it out of the park. But other than that, I love the Game Awards Orchestra moments. I felt like all the music was good. Okay, I didn't really care about the Snoop Dogg part, but the Arcane stuff was good. The Civilization stuff was okay. And the, of course, the ending melody is fantastic. It's always a highlight every year, the ending melody. I re-listened to it right before the stream started. Yeah, it's great. They got some great songs in there. You know, I love all, like, the serious stuff, and then just Astrobot. You know, I said the same thing in the past about, like, Mario Odyssey, right? I love all the serious stuff, and then just that one joke song. You know, not even joke, just, like, completely tonally different than everything else. And that because it is completely tonally different, but they treat it with all the same respect as all these, like, big, serious games with their big orchestral scores and their serious tone-setting soundtracks. Yep, they get the same respect as Astrobot does. It's kind of, again, going back to the Muppets, it's like Michael Caine in Muppets Christmas Carol. Like, he treats the Muppets like it's the Royal Shakespeare Company. And that's why that movie is the best Christmas movie. Right? The Game Awards treats Astrobot with the same respect that they give Elden Ring, that they give Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild. Same diff. Alright, I like that. The orchestra was great. My favorite moment, though, in the entire show, the best speech of the night. So Jeff Keighley, in the past, has been considered a little tone deaf when it comes to issues in the gaming industry. Like, yeah, he called out Konami for their treatment of Kojima a few years back. God, years and years ago. But outside of that, yeah, Jeff Keighley's not really good at addressing issues in the game industry. And I just feel like that's how the show works at this point, right? Like, that's been a constant criticism of the show. Because it feels like, you know, in, like, some ways, Jeff Keighley kind of feels like the head of gaming, but that's not, but that's only, like, when it comes to, like, the fun, lighthearted stuff. When it comes to the serious stuff, he doesn't really talk about that. I can't think of a good metaphor here, but, you know, he doesn't do that stuff. I mean, he'll occasionally mention it, but that's very few and far in between. But that's been a genuine criticism of him, right? And especially, like, at Summer Games Fest this year, and just there have been so many layoffs in the games industry. Like, they're in the thousands. Like, tens of thousands of people have been laid off. It's been an awful year behind the scenes. And yeah, Jeff Keighley could have just ignored it like he always does. But no, he came up and he just straight up admitted, like, yeah, in the past, I don't really talk about this stuff, but I know it is important. I know people care. I have a platform, so I should use it. And so he announced this new thing, right? Like, I make fun of the Games for Impact. Of, like, yeah, this is not something a serious award show would have. But you know what serious award shows do have? Lifetime Achievement Awards. And that's kind of, like, that's the closest thing I could compare this to, even though it's not that. This was the Game Changer Award. You know, for people in the industry who are going out, who are making a difference. And the winner, right, he comes out, he addresses the layoffs, and then he introduces Amir Savat. Satvot? Amir Satvot. Satvot? Amir Satvot? It's S-A-T-V-A-T. And he, you know, someone who worked in the gaming industry, was laid off, and he saw this and he took the opportunity, you know, to help others. God, I feel myself getting choked up just talking about this. You know, he's created a system where, you know, he helps people who have been laid off this year get jobs. And he has helped over 3,000 people. And I'm amazed I have never heard the story. Like, I know I don't work in the gaming industry. I have, outside of playing games and, you know, knowing a guy or two, I have very, very strenuous connections to the gaming industry. You know, close to zero. But, you know, I'm surprised I'd never heard a story about this or anything. But yeah, you know, him coming out here, him giving his speech, the best speech in the history of the Game Awards. Like, I know I praised Greg Miller's speech from 2015, you know, where he comes out and he highlights the people who works on the games. It's a great speech if you've never heard it. This one's better. He nailed it. And it's the closest I got to you know, being choked up. I know I cried later in the night, last night when we beat Astrobot. And I know I'm kind of like, I can feel myself like on the verge of tears right now. Because, you know, this stuff does matter. And these people are important. And it was great. It's a great moment. I really do like this. You know, them coming out, them addressing the layoffs. Later on in the night, you know, Swin Venky? The head of Larian Studios also mentioned the layoffs as well. And yeah, and we'll talk about his speech in a second. But yeah, no, this stuff is important. And I'm glad they're addressing it. I hope this sets the precedent for future Game Awards. Right? Because this stuff does matter. Yeah, if you have not listened to it, I highly recommend it. This was probably the best moment in the game. You know, for their 10-year anniversary show, I know there were a lot of things. They were like, oh yeah, it's our 10-year anniversary. Let's do this and that. This is the thing I want in the 10-year anniversary. I don't want them, you know, jerking off, you know, talking about how great the Game Awards are. I want stuff like this. This is the stuff that matters. This was great. So if that's the best speech of the night, the second best speech, right, comes from Sven Vinke, who is the head of Larian, won Game of the Year last year. And he came out and he was like, you know, last year we were only given like 3 minutes to speak. I might have even been less than that. But he's like, hey, you want to speak again? All you got to do is win. And he came out and he was like, oh, this is the secret to making a great game. It's not about the microtransactions. It's not about the bottom dollar. It's right about making a game that you love, that people will love, that you care about, that matters so much. Okay, I feel myself. Oh my god. Give me a second. I'm trying to pull myself together here. It was a great, you know, for that to introduce Game of the Year, you know, say that, hey, you know, this year there have been many problems. There have been layoffs. You know, there are employees who fear for their jobs. There are employees who don't get paid enough. You know, that people who, you know, have a stable job, that make a good living, they will make good games. And this year, we had some great games. Fuck. I'm genuinely crying. Fuck, and I'm just talking about it. I'm not even. I did re-listen to both these speeches before we started tonight, but fuck, man. You know what? Maybe I did love the Game Awards this year. You know, if I'm sitting here just talking about it and kind of tearing up, I know I cry on a dime. But still, yeah, if I'm just sitting here tearing up, maybe I did actually love the Game Awards this year. Even though I kind of listened to them like a podcast. Maybe Jeff Keighley did a fantastic job. Maybe he put together a really good show. He brought in some great people who gave some great speeches that I really do think matter. That did some fantastic work. Fuck. I know I'm laughing, but I'm totally also crying. Fuck. I just checked the audio to make sure I was recording that. I don't want to... that's why I sneezed into the mic, because I don't want to mute myself and fucking up. Oh my gosh. And then, yeah, the Astrobot speech at the end of the night, you know, thanking Nintendo, talking about how, you know, important Super Mario Brothers is, and hope that, you know, maybe one day Astrobot will be that for the next generation, is also fantastic. That was a great way to end, a great final speech. Yeah, Jeff Keighley put together a great show. What can I say? You know, last night after watching it, I think I gave it like an 8 out of 10. Honestly, the best game. Even at an 8 out of 10, it's still probably the best Game Awards I've seen. Now sitting here, going over everything, you know, looking at the winners. I know I had a pretty positive ratio this year. I think I got 10 predictions wrong and 17 correct. Even still, with all that, you know, well, yes, that does help me with things. You know, the announcements were good, the speeches were good. Yeah, no, I think I might bump this up. I don't think I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I don't know if a 10 out of 10 Game Awards exists, but this was a pretty good Game Awards. I think I'm going to bump it up to a 9 out of 10. Fuck. And I think part of it is that I'm actually, like, tearing up right now. Fuck. Why do I have to cry at the time? No. After 10 years, you know, they got something. I know, and you know, I still will say, do the Game Awards actually matter? No. Do I try to make my own fun out of the Game Awards? Yes. Will I, if I do watch the Game Awards next year, you know, if I actually do have time, most years I don't, will I probably do another stupid stunt like I did this year? Oh yeah, definitely. But still, yeah, no. And looking at this whole thing wrapped up into one tight little bow that we've talked about for the past hour and a half, almost half the length of the Game Awards themselves. Yeah, no, this was a great show. This was a great showing. Good job to Jeff Keighley. Good job to everyone behind the scenes. I know shows like this take like 6 months to make. I know it doesn't seem like it, but that's because, you know, so many people work so hard behind the scenes to make something special. And it paid off. Right? I know the Game Awards don't matter, but for the people making them, they don't treat it like that. They treat it like it's the most important thing in the world. And fuck, it showed this year. Oh, God. God, I can't believe I'm still crying like 4 minutes later. Oh. Okay, I need a minute to recollect myself. Yeah, no, good show. Good show, Old Sport. Good show. I found out they took off regular show off HBO Max. Fuck. I watched my favorite episode of regular show is White Elephant Gift Exchange. And I watch it every Christmas. Around Christmas time. And I went to watch it this year, and regular show's not on HBO Max. What the hell is that? I of course found my way, but yeah. How did I get to that? I have no idea. Oh, I was referencing Pops. So yeah, you know, that's the Game Awards. Good show. Good show. All right, let's move on. Let me wipe my tears. Let's move on. So our next thing. So we've been having a lot of Nintendo Switch 2 leaks. At this point, we know what the console looks like. You know, it kind of, you know, there's a part of me that, you know, wants to be excited. Like, oh, you know, we're gonna find out what the Nintendo Switch 2 looks like in, you know, January. But I know people have been like, oh, well, this thing doesn't line up. You know, there's inconsistencies here. Like, I know we looked at those Joy-Con images last week, or at least we talked about them. And I guess people have, right, the fact that there's like 2 motion sensors in the controllers and the Joy-Cons doesn't seem to line up with what other people are saying. so those Joy-Cons are probably fake. But still, I still expect the final product to look like that. And in these past few days, we've gotten a bunch more leaks. We've got more cases, we've got more grips, you know, someone basically has like a cover for the Switch 2, and it looks exactly like what you'd expect. There's an image I do have that I will show off here in a second, that basically just shows the console with like it's like a cover or something, but it's basically exactly what the Switch 2 is going to look like, but it's blue. But yeah, we've been getting more. We know what the thing's going to look like. And there's a part of me that's, like, fine with it, because it's not that big of a change, you know? The Switch 2 and the Switch look very similar. Yeah, it's bigger, but that's, you know, that's small potatoes. That's not really a big deal. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I'm like, there's a part that's like, yeah, you know, at least like if everything is going to be leaked, at least the stuff we're getting like is kind of underwhelming. Like the biggest change between the Switch and the Switch 2, outside of like it being bigger, is that there's a new like C button, that underneath the home button there's a C button, and you know, people are speculating on what that means. What does that mean? I have no idea. The most common thing I'm seeing is people saying that it's maybe a chat function. My previous prediction has been a microphone. Like, PlayStation has a microphone button that, you know, when you press it, it lights up and it turns off the microphone. I could see the Switch 2 doing something like that, which might mean that the Switch 2 has voice chat. That's a big deal. You know, the Switch 2 getting voice chat's a pretty big deal. So yeah, overall though, I'm not really that worried about it, because it's just the console. You know what? The console leaking isn't that big of a deal. You know what I'm glad isn't leaking? The games. Like, imagine if we found out the name of the new Mario game, or if a screenshot of like the title screen for the new Mario game, or of Mario standing in like an open world leaked. That would suck. I don't care. I've come to the realization, I don't care that the Switch console has been leaked, because it's exactly what I expected. What I would care about is if the hardware gets leaked. Right? Nintendo, not in a Nintendo Direct, finding out that we're gonna get a new Mario Kart or a 3D Mario, like, we all expect that. But until it happens, there's no confirmation. So yeah, I don't care if the hardware gets leaked. It's not sweat off my back. But software, that's what I care about. You know, I'm gonna play the console, you know, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna look at it, but it's not that big of a change. But those games, I'm gonna play those games all the time. So real quick, let's look at this. So this comes from Nintendo Prime. We got the system. So the system is not blue. This is a covering. But, you know, it looks like this. It's bigger, right? The screen is bigger. It's like an OLED, but it's not an OLED screen. It's got the sticks. It's got these buttons. There's your screenshot button. There's your home button. There's your new C button. These are the interiors. And if we look on the back here, this is a release. It's got this big mount for the kickstand. It's got the USB-C port at the top, presumably so that way you can charge the console to the top or the bottom, or potentially you'll be able to link up two of these to do like DS games or something. I don't know. I'll be honest, this is exactly what I want. I love that they're bringing back the old kickstand. You know, I really do like the Switch. Oh, my biggest problem with the original Switch, outside of maybe the battery life, is the kickstand. I think the original Switch's kickstand was just kind of poorly, outside of the fact that it easily breaks off and can be easily reattached. They really did not think out the original Switch's kickstand, and it kind of shows. But the OLED, they figured that shit out. They made it big, they made it bulky. The OLED's kickstand is fantastic. This looks I know there was a rumor that it was going to be like a bar or something. Yeah, that's not what this is. This is like an actual proper kickstand. It looks good. Hopefully it works well. So yeah, you know, it's the Switch 2. It's exactly what we had expected. I'm not really surprised at all. But yeah, I don't care about the hardware. The Switch 2 is going to look like the Switch 2. I care about the software. Again, it's the reason why the Xbox Series X isn't doing as well. Right? Like, I don't care that the Xbox Series X looks like a mini fridge. What I care about is the games. And, you know, while I mean, supposedly the new Indiana Jones is good, is the new Indiana Jones going to convince me to buy an Xbox Series X? Probably not. Well, except for the fact that I already have one. But regardless of that, it probably wouldn't have convinced me if I didn't. Even though, again, I've heard it's good and I do want to play it at some point. I'll get around to it. But yeah, no, I don't care about the hardware. Like, that's part of me why like the Xbox Series X reveal at the Game Awards, like, it didn't feel like that huge of a deal, because people don't care about hardware. I mean, they want it to run well, obviously. Like, we want to know the stats, like, hey, how good is this thing going to be? Is it going to be better than a PS4? Is it going to, you know, what's it going to be able to do? Is it better than a Steam Deck? Like, we want to know that stuff, but at the end of the day, I just want to know, are the games good? Are they going to have new, fun, interesting games? That's what I care about. That's my new outlook on the Switch 2 leaks. I know I've been all grumble, angry about this. That I think Nintendo should have just revealed things. That, you know, it sucks that everything's leaking. I know that's been my motto up to this point. Now I'm just kind of letting it go. You know, I care about the games. As long as the games don't leak, I'm not really worried. Oh my god, I can't breathe out my left nostril. It's after crying, it has been completely clogged up. Oh my gosh. So I guess that's all I gotta say about Switch 2. Let's do a real quick WIBE. No more than 12 minutes. Even though I don't think I have enough to even fill 12 minutes. Movies, I've seen nothing. Gentry Chow, I have not finished. We will talk about it when I finish it next week. Hopefully I will finish it next week. I think I will, though. But yeah, go watch Gentry Chow versus the Underworld. It's good. It's on Netflix. It's good. I recommend it. Go check it out. I have not watched Secret Level. I haven't watched anything else. I did not see Kraven the Hunter, but I heard it's awful. And clear, you know, the Sony Spider-Man villain universe, or whatever the fuck they called it, is very clearly a failure. And, like, you know, yeah. Like, I think the problem isn't that they were making villain movies. The problem is that they weren't making good movies. Like, you know, there's a thing where if you have a copyright and you don't use it for a certain amount of time, it eventually will go back to either, you know, a previous holder or into the public domain or, you know, any number of things. That's what a lot of these villain Spider-Man movies feel like. Is that, you know, they're just making them to maintain the property rights. They don't actually care about these movies because these movies suck. And, you know, the fact that they basically made 2 Morbiuses this year that are somehow worse than Morbius is kind of fucking crazy. But, you know, maybe this gets Aaron Taylor Johnson? Maybe this gets the guy back in the MCU. I'd love to see them bring back Quicksilver. I know some people don't care for his Quicksilver. I think it's fine. It's just kind of poorly used because it's, you know, Joss Whedon. But, you know, maybe they figure it out the next time. So, yeah, we got that. Yeah, we got an hour of Marble League. Holy shit. Of course, we played Astrobot yesterday. Guess what? Astrobot is amazing. I just realized the sky is pink. I'm sure it's been pink the whole time and I just wasn't paying attention. Guess what? Astrobot is fantastic. Now that it has one game of the year, you have zero excuse to play Astrobot. I don't care what the Black Myth Wukong bros say. Astrobot is one of the best games of the year. Easy, one of the best recommendations I could make. Oh, but it's a baby game for babies. You know, your game kind of fucking sucks, as it's the lowest rated game to be ever nominated for Game of the Year. I'm amazed it even won 2 awards. But you do you, bro. But no, Astrobot's fantastic. They just got Spider-Man DLC, or spoiler alert, Spider-Man's in the Winter DLC. Like, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. It's great. It is great. I just played it again because originally I was when I do Game of the Year at the end of the year, I usually have a game in the background, right? For while we're talking, you know, I have another game in the background that we can watch or whatever. And last year it was Mario Wonder. This year my plan was to make it Astrobot. But, it looks like that's not gonna happen. Yeah, it looks like that's kind of off the table for the moment. Because, you know, we just played through the entire game. I've realized that a lot this year. You know, while I haven't streamed that many non-in-chat games, every non-in-chat stream I have done has been several hours long. You know, us doing all of Link's Awakening in a single stream. Us doing all 4 Pikmin games in a 16-hour stream. Us doing all of Astrobot in a 5-hour stream. Not all of Astrobot, obviously, but you know, us beating the game in 5 hours. You know, I feel like that's been a lot of the streams we've done this year. Like, the only non-stuff like that is Minecraft. Which, by the way, we do need to do Minecraft. The Pale Garden update came out, and they added a single new achievement, and we do have to do that on maybe not next week, but I don't know. Is Christmas on Monday or Tuesday? Sometime before the end of the year, we will do a Minecraft stream where we start a world, we go get Silk Touch somehow, and then we go get the new achievement. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Or, you know, maybe we'll just use my previous world. The world. Because I'm pretty sure in the world I did the Trial Chamber hunt in, I'm pretty sure I had a Silk Touch pick in that world. So maybe we'll just use that one and go looking for a Pale Garden. I mean, how far away could it be? We didn't explore that much of that world. Okay, I actually explored a bunch, but, you know, maybe we'll find something. I'll actually probably do that second one. Maybe, you know, that might make the stream a little bit shorter. I can't remember, did I have a horse in that world? I don't think I did. I think I had some llamas, weirdly enough. I don't know. I was also looking at it in chat. We're only gonna hit 51 episodes. I don't know if I did my math wrong at some point, like if I accidentally skipped or I accidentally did a double day or something. But yeah, this week was 49. Next week is 50. Week after that is 51. And then we reset at the new year. So, because the new year starts on like a Wednesday this year, which is weird. And I think maybe that's why, because technically there's 52 weeks, but the last week is only like 2 days. But I feel like I fucked up somewheres. Sometime in the next like week or two, I'm gonna run the math again and see like where did I fuck up, because I clearly fucked up somewheres. Just don't know where. But yeah, I don't think I played any other videos game this week. We played Marvel Rivals. Guess what? I still love Cloak and Dagger. Man, Cloak and Dagger has become my main at this point. I played a little bit of Scarlet Witch. You know, I like Scarlet Witch, but because everybody thinks it's the tryhard character, and you know, if I don't play healer, everyone's just gonna play DPS, and that's no good. So I haven't actually played that much time with her. And so, yeah, it kind of sucks. I know roll queues. You know, people want roll queue. I'll be honest, I'm against roll queue. Like, I know people want it. I don't think we need it. And I know, in the higher level, in ranked, you can actually ban heroes. I have not played any rank. I can if I want. Right, I'm a high enough level, but I haven't, so... Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, Marvel Rivals is still really good. We didn't play it this week because... I don't know, I didn't feel like it. Splatoon I can basically do on autopilot. Not entirely, obviously. It's like how you shouldn't drive a car on autopilot, even though you kinda can. Right. Anything that requires at least 1% of brain power. Right? Like, I could do that for a normal stream, but for in-chat, nah, I need, like, nothing. Okay, good. We're level 5. Yeah, there you go. Take my booster pack. So I guess that takes us to Marble League. Alright, let's pull this up. I'm actually just gonna I'm just gonna completely close Splatoon, actually. Yeah. So we got 4 events. We've got the snow drag, the biathlon, the short track, and ice hockey. Of these 4 events, I've seen 3 of them. I've seen the snow drag, which, fuck, man. Like, at least I think it's the snow. Did we? Oh, I'm thinking of the short track, where I'm like, fuck the snow. The short. Man, the short track. In the qualifiers, I'm pretty sure we came 18th in short track. So fuck the snow track. Or 15th, I mean. We came 15 out of 16 in short track. God, I'm so worried about doing that again. Right, second from the bottom. But we got the snow drag, we got other things. Alright, let's watch us some Marble League, shall we? Oh, God. I still can't breathe out of my nostril. Man, I really do need to get, like, an air purifier or something. I don't know why, whenever we just... Because, like, it didn't really happen yet. I mean, I guess it kind of did happen yesterday. There's just something about streaming that just completely clogs up my nose.
Sponsored by Mint Mobile. Hey, everybody. I'm Greg Woods. Savage Speeders and Team Momo lead the way. Very close together. Same over the Raspberry Racers.
So I have no idea how Snow Drag or history with it. I'll be honest, I don't even remember where we placed in this event. Like, this was... I watched... What, this was... Was this Saturday last week? This was either Saturday or Sunday last week. I honestly do not remember where we placed. I forgot to do our split.
2 teams of 2 marbles apiece will be rolling down that ramp and heading straight into the snow. The collective distance of the 2 marbles...
I don't know what this event is, like, based on or anything. Like, it kind of reminds me of, ski jump, in a way. Like, that's the comparison I'd make.
All checks coming back safe, and we are going to be ready to roll.
Man, you know, we got... Oh yeah, Minty Maniacs.
Demo run here in the snow drag with the Captain Minty Fresh and Minty Flay.
Fuck, I do remember how this goes. Oh yeah. They're gonna get like a 170 here.
We'll also be talking as this goes along about the strategy that comes to this.
Yeah, 178. They set a new high. And that's... once you see the first run, you'll see how, like, this is gonna be, like, underwhelming. Like, this is not gonna go well from here.
102 and a 76 were the 2 marbles. So to get us started in the actual competition,
Gliding Glaciers and the Momos.
Down they come, and they almost run nose to tail for 3 marbles. One of the Gliding Glaciers goes off to the near side.
Yeah, like, look at this, already off the start. Nowhere's close to what the Minty Maniacs just did.
That the other marbles have...
And that's... Oh yeah, let me...
75, 86, 78, 71 for the totals. A 161, 25.
There we go. Let's kind of move ourselves over here somewhere.
Green Ducks and the Solar Flare.
Yeah, that's a little better.
The only team thus far to get 2 bronze medals in a row.
Again, not a good showing.
It's 1 and 2. This time they try to do their own thing, and it's a good drag race between those final 2 marbles. You can see how
Yeah, see, I feel like the Menti Maniacs just right off the gate set a high bar.
It puts the Ducks into 2nd place.
So that's not good for us.
Bumblebees and Raspberry Racers.
Again, another event where I wonder how good the Raspberry Racers are. Like,
let's see how they fare on the snow now.
That's
Now, one of the marbles is the farthest.
still pretty close, actually.
Other Raspberry Racers.
It's in the Bumblebees' favor. That it was the Bumblebees, right? Yeah, that was the Bumblebees.
Totals, it's a very close race.
Yeah, 150.
150.9 compared to a
That's
148.15.
It's kind of underwhelming.
Holding on tenuously to that bronze medal position, Raspberry Racers down in 6th.
Snowballs and the jumpers.
Jumpers. One of these teams you would have to think.
So I've come to the realization that, yeah, look at that from the snowballs. That's a lot better. I can't remember if that's a new record or not, or yeah, that is. Oh, and it's set by the Jungle Jumpers, not even the snowballs. So I will be honest. I think last week I mentioned, like, I know one of the 2 snow teams, the Gliding Glaciers or the Snowballs, were good at snow events, and the other one was bad. Watching it, they seem to alternate. Like, the Snowballs did good in this one, but then, like, the Gliding Glaciers did well in the previous one. So it's very clear that they, like, alternate between, like, who's good and who's bad. Some weeks they're good, some weeks they're bad. Okay, so, talking about this, I had mentioned last week that I had bought some, that when the qualifiers went up and I saw that they were selling teams, I immediately jumped on that because I want my own marble team. And hopefully you can hear that. They came in. They came in today, so I've got my own set of Team Galactic Marvels. There are 10 of them. They are very cute. I'm gonna do something with them. I'm gonna make a display. I'm gonna do something fun with my little Team Galactic Marbles. But I'm very happy to have them. They come in a little metal 10. It's got the logo on it. I think it is very cute. Right, I bought this one, and I bought one for somebody else who, the person who's a Green Ducks fan. I bought them a set of Green Ducks. The one thing that I wish, though, is because when they originally launched, they had all the marble teams, except for the Raspberry Racers. They didn't have the Raspberry Racers. I eventually found out why, but now they do have the Raspberry Racers. And it sucks, because there's a part of me that doesn't want to put in another, because if you buy 4, you can get, like, $10 off. And, like, I wish if the Raspberry Racers had been there at the start, I probably would have just picked up a 4th team. Maybe I would have picked up, okay, wait, pause. Come on, Galactic. I don't remember you doing that well, but come on. Very middle of the road. You know, milquetoast.
Down the ramp, Galactic were trying to get in front, but
actually, that's not bad. 4th place actually isn't terrible. It would have been nice to, you know, take the Hazers bronze, but there's no way they keep that. I want to say we're going to keep falling down. But yeah, no, if the marbles, if they had the Raspberry Racers, I would have bought Galactic, Ducks, Raspberry, which is my secondary team. And then I probably would have bought another team, maybe like the Bumblebees or the Pinkies or something. I don't know, I would have found a justification to buy another one. But because they didn't have the Raspberry Racers, I was just like, I'm not gonna buy a Pinkies, or I'm not gonna buy, that just knocks us down 2 places. I'm not gonna buy a Pinkies or a Team Plasma or one of those other ones, you know, because again, Galactic is always my first team. I will always choose Galactic if it's an option. Raspberry Racers are my second. I'll root for I will always root for Galactic over Raspberry Racers, but if Galactic aren't an option, I'll root for the Raspberry Racers. But I don't really have a third. I mean, maybe the Bumblebees? And it's only the Bumblebees. A tie is crazy. And I think I only kind of root for the Bumblebees because of the Marble Survival 100. Like, near the end of that competition, I was like, I think the Bumblebees have this. And they didn't, but, you know, I was kind of hopeful. I think we dropped down to 8th. Yeah, no, that Jungle Jumpers are doing insanely well this year. I think that's their second medal. Yeah, 2 golds in 4 events is wild. That, especially from the Jungle Jumpers. Like, if this had been the Cat's Eyes, I would have been like, yeah, that makes sense, you know? They're the Cat's Eyes. They've been a pretty good team recently, but this might be the Jungle Jumpers comeback. Like, that's good on the Jungle Jumpers, I guess, but... And there we are in 8th. There we are in fucking 8th.
You had, they are over-delivering.
Yeah.
Still a long way to go in the Marble League, but collect the golds when you can. And that
Wild.
should help down the stretch. A quarter of the way through.
That bumps us down.
And the Jungle Jumpers.
We're in 13th now.
They are first.
That is not looking pretty.
But what moves will be made for the next event?
Event 5 Biathlon. So when I first watched Biathlon here,
OLED model Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bundle includes a Nintendo.
okay. So when I first watched Biathlon, I was trying to think like what, because I know the normal triathlon is, I want to say, running, biking, and swimming. So when I saw Biathlon, I was like, wait, isn't Biathlon skiing and shooting? How are they going to do shoot? Right, like, there's no, like, I was making a joke, like, there's no way they're going to do shooting.
In the history of the Marble League,
And yeah, sure enough, they got a range down there at the end. Did it actually, is the range actually going to matter that much? I mean, we'll see, obviously. Oh, hey, look, feet. I almost never show the feet on this. This model has feet, and I, like, never show them.
the 2024 Marble League, sponsored by Mint Mobile. They are winners. Back in the Snow Drag, 1 event ago. 2 events before that in the half pipe, Jungle Jumpers were once again gold.
Yeah, no, it's...
They are setting the tone nicely. We still have
Actually, I feel like the way they do shooting here, like, it's a very strict track, as we'll see, and it's not going to be kind to some teams. But I like the idea of shooting in theory here, but it really only is going to affect, like, 1 or 2 teams. We'll see. We'll see. And I think this is also a long one. I think this is like a 20-minute video. Yeah, 19 minutes.
This is a relay race, of course, so the opening marble is off, slaloming back and forth. That marble will tag the second team member.
So yeah,
down they come.
They go through the track, and it's based on time.
As well.
It is a relay race as well, which I don't think the normal biathlon's a relay race. I honestly don't remember, but I definitely feel like that slows things down a lot. Right? That it being a relay is really going to hurt some teams. And then, yeah, it's all based on accuracy. You know, if you hit 2 targets, if you hit multiple dominoes, you get the average between the 2.
So in this case, a 10 and a 9 comes to 9.5. Now for the scoring.
So listen to this.
Add 10 seconds to that, and then subtract whatever the shooting total was. So, for instance, if you set a 26-second...
I'm actually going to boost Greg's audio here.
Well, your score will stay what your time was, because you would add 10...
After doing all the stuff with the Game Awards, I've now kind of, like, am I keeping Greg very low? I'm probably still too low right now, but maybe that's a little better. So yeah, basically scoring is time, then they add 10, and subtract whatever your score is. Because it's a possible on a theoretically 0 to 10 range. So like that's a 9.5. So they take, so it sounds more complicated than it is. Right? Like Greg takes some time to explain it. But yeah, so they basically, if you score a perfect hit, it doesn't affect your time at all. You get whatever your race time is.
And the goal, of course, is to go quickest
But yeah, as we're gonna see, most teams are pretty accurate here. There's only like 1 or 2 teams this is actually going to affect, because most teams know what they're doing.
Opening split, they are marginally slower than the Chocolatiers were. Only a few hundredths, however. It's very close together. They've lost a bit more time through the second handoff.
Yeah, I got my own little Team Galactic.
Watch where they are when they tag that fourth
there.
mark, being around that 20-second
You know, they're
mark.
cute.
One way for you to keep track
I'm gonna
of
do
how
something
they
with
compare
them.
to each other.
I know. Oh, we'll race them.
Consistency
You've got 10. So in theory, I could put the 5 on display and, you know, Pulsar, Astron, Cosmos, Starry, and...
So a 27.25, that is a
Is Quasar the last member? I know Astron, I know Starry, Pulsar, Cosmos, and I swear it starts with a Q. I think it's Quasar. Right, like I can put our 5 team members, I can do some sort of cute little display. And then I've got 5 if I actually want to, like, do anything with them. I do like the tin they come in, right? Like, the fact that they didn't just, like, come in, like, a bag or something. The fact that they gave, like, an actual metal tin is very nice. Like, they didn't... It's one of those things where it's like they didn't have to, but it makes the product feel more quality. And I like that. I know we talked about it last week, but again, I don't like shirts. Not that there's anything wrong with shirts. I totally get why YouTubers sell shirts. Because they're easy, they're cheap, I guess they're affordable, not cheap. Right, you can produce a bunch of shirts, they're not hard to ship, you know, stuff like this takes a lot more to ship. Like little marble tins. But I appreciate all the effort. Alright, let's go here. Come on.
Up into second place.
We're slowing down a lot there. Okay, that's good speed.
And they're actually slower than the
Come on. Come on. See, the handoff really slows you down.
Just shipping time away.
Yeah, I feel like our first leg was slow, but since then we've been doing pretty good.
At 21.02. That is slower than the...
Yeah, 27...
Once again, 9.5.
Watch us get like 3rd again, just to get bumped. Okay, 4th. I think this is the 3rd time in a row we've gotten 4th, just to be bumped down to like 8th.
What if I told you this was the last ad you would ever see?
Yeah, no, that's been this year's Marble League, is we get 4th, which, because I guess we're Team Glac 4th now, that we broke the 5th curse last year, and now we've become a 4th curse, which in theory sounds better.
Very slow. Oh my God.
Or did we break the curse and become a 6th team last year? I don't remember. I know we broke the 5th curse last year and became either 4th or 6th. I don't remember. But clearly it's not. This year's Marble League is just, we get good, and then we just keep tracking it down.
They're also the slowest in leg 3. They also missed the center domino. That's the first marble.
Yeah.
To miss.
But yeah, see, a lot of these scores, they're getting 9. I know a minute doesn't... A minute can definitely add up. I mean, that's a perfect 30. Like, the minute adds up, but when every team's hitting either 9 or 9.5, it's really not that big of a... Right? It really doesn't break that many things up. Of course, again, there's going to be 1 or 2 exceptions. We'll get to those, obviously.
Glaciers are out now. They've actually looked pretty good early on here in the Marble League. They've got a medal to show for it. Bronze back in the bobsled. How are the Glaciers looking so far here into the final handoff? It's not a blistering time. What they do, 27.75 isn't great either.
Yeah.
And they also...
Again, as long as they're doing worse than us...
That is worth 9.
I think that's 1 below us. I don't think that bumps us.
That is the only team that is behind them right now. Balls of chaos as we're nearing the midway point.
I don't know, I gotta keep track of these things, and clearly I'm not.
Clock ticks over 7. It's a 7.24 in the opening leg. That's not too bad.
Because I know all these, like, yes, it's good to get 4th place, but preferable to, like, 15th. But when it all said and done, all those 4th places are going to be the death of us. It's just, like, every 4th place makes it a little harder for us to, you know, actually make it up. Because getting 1st is 25 points, whereas getting 4th, right, 1 off the podium, is maybe 12 at most. Like, because I'm pretty sure gold is 25, bronze, or silver is like 20, and bronze is like maybe 15, and then they just tick down from there. And it really adds up. And I might be totally... We'll check the numbers at the end. I clearly cannot remember off the top of my head. But it adds up, and it adds up quick. I mean, again, the Jungle Jumper is winning 2 golds. Compared to, like, the Green Ducks, which have won, like, 3 bronze. And they're sitting down in, like, 6th. Maybe 5th.
That will give the Snowballs the lead.
Okay, that moves us down to 5th.
It does.
Yeah.
26-16. Previous best was 26-6-7. They just lowered that again.
At least I think that moves us down to...
8 runs are complete.
Oh shit, that moves us down to 6th.
Provisional leaders.
Oh, I thought we did better than the Hazers. I guess we did worse?
Yella's Marble Run is excited to announce the launch of our toy brand that has everything you need to run your own Yella's Marble race in the comfort of your
Now,
home.
did I buy any of this stuff, like the funnels and whatnot? No.
Teams. Or you can buy sets of 10 marbles, so you can have team races with one of our Skyway Chase Marble Run sets.
I mean, they're neat, you know, but I don't need... I have so much stuff. Like already, like, just trying to find a place to put these guys for the next few weeks. I have no idea what I'm going to do with them. But it's cool to have them.
You will find everything you need to get started inside the box, including an instruction manual with building ideas.
Yeah, it's cool to have.
A free app that allows you to have your race announced.
And again, I say that, but there's also a part of me that just kind of wants to support them. You know, I've been watching the Marble League for years now. And, you know, yeah, I give them money on Patreon, but there's only, like, so much, right? Like, that only goes so long. Merchandise, that's a lot more. I don't know what the upsale on these things are. I mean, I don't remember them being... They're maybe, like... I have no idea how much they would be to produce, but they're only, like, I want to say $10 per tin, which I know that can be expensive, especially because you also gotta pay shipping. But I'd like to hope they're getting a good upsale on that.
Times here in the booth, and that one's a 7.89.
It's just neat, man. What can I say? I think it's neat. I think it's a really good idea that after, you know,
they've gained a bit of time back.
God, what, 8 years of doing this? At least 8 years of the Marble League. I think this is year 8. Because I think the first one was 2016.
27.57. Oh, way off the middle.
Yeah, no, it's a good idea. It's a good move.
Dark blue is 8, light blue is 7, so they're going to have a 7.5. And that pushes their result up to 30.07.
I keep opening and closing this 10. That I don't know how much that's picked up on the audio.
Raspberry Racers coming out now, a team that was 6th back in 2018.
I think that's picked up.
See how they run. First handoff, 7.34. Pretty good thus far. Next up, 14.29. That's losing a bit of time. 108, that's middle of the pack. It's dropping them down.
How are the Raspberry Racers doing?
27.09. How does the shot go?
Solid 9. Oh, yeah.
That is nice and tidy. Couple of hops.
I think that knocks us down another place. I thought we were 27. But I want to say we were 7th, so that might have knocked us down another place. I hope those PlayStation themes stay permanent. I've been using the PS2 theme. The PS2 theme is great. I really don't want that to go away on the 20th. I know they're probably going to make me buy it, and I don't think I will, but who knows.
With the hazers. 13-5-0 in the second. Anytime you're in that 13 range, you are.
I mean, good time for the Green Ducks right now. They're
20.26.
the Green Ducks.
Also quick.
Ugh, the Green
How will the
Ducks.
shot go? We got a bullseye.
Oh, look at that. They're the one team to hit it perfect. Again, I say this like I don't know how this is going to play out. They get second, but they're the one team to hit the perfect bullseye. So that does not affect them at all.
What a run by the Green Ducks.
Yeah, no, it's actually a really impressive run.
They were not even competing the last time we did this event.
That's also crazy.
Again, the winners that day, Crazy Cat's Eyes, Rangers got silver, Thunderbolts got bronze.
Only one of those teams is competing this year. Man, I know the fact that the Green Ducks didn't exist.
That day.
I think that was the first year of the Jungle Jumpers, if I remember correctly. I want to say the Jungle Jumpers were 2018, and the Green Ducks were 2019. I know the Green Ducks were 2019.
And a 9 on the shot. That run just got slower as they went. And that's going to give them a 28-9-7.
Again, I think we're in like 8 or 9. I don't think we've fallen below 10. God, I hope we haven't fallen below 10. I mean, we'll see. We'll find out here in a minute. Okay, after like 4 more runs. This one included. No, three more runs this one included? No, 4. 4. I was right the first time.
They finish above them at least. But they may have a shot at a medal. Momo 8-2-6 on the first handoff. Very slow. 14-9-1 on the second. That is also going to be well down the order. 21-7-1.
Yeah, there's been a lot of, like, not great hand. Like, some teams pick up off the handoff, but I feel like some of them struggle.
And they're going to get 9.5.
But yeah, most teams have hit either 9 or 9.5. Only one team's hit 10, and I don't... Has any team hit 8? Maybe one team hit 8 so far.
Of 13 runners.
It's been pretty solid kind of all the way around. It's kind of like the equalizer, right? If everyone hits 9 or 9.5, it's not, I mean, like, yes, that 0.5 seconds definitely going to add up, but it's not going to add up a lot. Pretty fast.
12.84. That is the first one that we've seen in the 12s.
Holy crap! Yeah, they're just going.
Still quickest. 25-12
and you're hitting a 9.5.
And this is going to be a very good run for Crazy Cat's Eyes.
Yeah, no, they're definitely in first.
That I believe is going to put them in the lead. Green Eyes shooting nets them a 9.5.
Again, they won it last time. Clearly, they haven't gotten rusty after, what, 6 years?
To go. Not only do they move into the lead, they guarantee themselves a medal.
Yeah.
Savage Speeders watched one heck of a run right before them.
This has not been a year for Savage Speeders. I mean, I think they're doing okay. Like, they're not in my position, but this has definitely not been their year.
Next handoff here is not looking too bad.
Which, I mean, you know what? The age of Savage Speeders is over. The team of the always qualifiers is over. That's the one time that this hurts. 26.16 wasn't terrible. I don't know if it would have gotten them a medal, but that wasn't terrible. But that hurt them. Getting 5.5 dropped them to the very bottom.
That is shocking.
Yeah.
Snowballs and Crazy Cat's Eyes are now guaranteed a medal. Jungle Jumpers come up now as our final runners.
I don't know where. I'm in like 8 or 9. God, I could be in 11, but I think I'm 8 or 9. I don't remember.
Is rather slow for the Jungle Jumpers. 14.
We've been playing a very middle game. So I'm going to assume we're 8 or 9, but we'll see.
20.87. Great for the Jungle Jumpers. They need a bullseye here, and they're not going to get it. 26.95 was their time. And that would not be good enough to medal even if they had gotten the bullseye.
Yeah, no. But I think that bumps us down another.
27.45
We might be
puts the
10.
Jungle Jumpers in 8th.
Congratulations to our winners. Green Ducks, Snowballs.
That's another medal for the Green Ducks. I think that's their third bronze.
Have repeated.
I know I said earlier they have 3 bronze.
In the biathlon. Snowballs get the silver and Green Ducks get the bronze.
Yeah, their first time ever in this event, and they just took it. Wow. But again, it doesn't... Because, yeah, bronze is good, but if all you're getting is bronze, you're gonna lose.
The Green Ducks now have 2 bronze medals across 5 events.
That was 2? I swear that was their third. They're gonna win one in the short track.
And a gold. 25.62, the lowest of anybody out there.
Look at this.
Looking at the overall
standings,
the Jungle Jumpers
yeah, I was completely right. 25, 2015. 4th place only gets, what is that even? Is it 12? And then it just counts down from there. Yeah, it really adds up.
Next up, the short track, blistering speed, teamwork.
I already know how this one ends. And man, this one fucking sucks. Again, we did awful at this event in the qualifiers. In the qualifiers, we got... I wasn't fit. It would be like if there are 32 teams, but I think a few weren't in it. Out of, what, 28 teams, I think we got 27. We did fucking awful in this event in the qualifiers. Again, Galactic barely qualified at all this year.
A contact sport. The version here in the 2024 Winter Marble League, sponsored by Mint Mobile, is no different.
To see who will come out. Let me get the sad face out. I already fucking know how this ends. Let's just be a sad boy.
Out there on this track.
Ooh.
Circulating for 30
Let's just be a sad boy.
As many laps as possible.
I don't think it's a long event though.
Do a partial lap, that doesn't
yeah, 11 minutes. I mean,
if the time expires,
it's not great, but compared to hockey, which is going to take 30 minutes. Wow, 3-hour stream tonight. I was not expecting. I mean, I kind of was. And I skipped over, like, I could have talked about Gentry Chow, and I just didn't because of Marble League. That's the only reason we didn't. Just being transparent.
Marbles that have the phones in their hand, live streaming back to headquarters, the track conditions. Their coverage by Mint Mobile allowing them to radio in and say, hey, everything is good and safe for the demo run being conducted right now by the Minty Maniacs. You see many different lines that marbles will take over the course of this event. There is no single right or wrong way to tackle this because in one way it's all about speed, another it's about momentum, and
I think it's 100% about staying on the inside but not hitting the wheel. That's totally what this... You got to play an inside game to cut the shortest distance while keeping as much speed as possible. But that's hard. That's very difficult. See, we're up in the first heat. Astron.
Blackjacks and the gliding glaciers. Whoa, Blackjacks fired out of a cannon.
And we're already fuck. We're a full lap behind. Almost 2 laps for the Blackjacks. Oh god. I hate this event. This is not our strong suit. It sucks. We didn't even break 7 in the qualifiers. We got 8. Fuck. We're the only team that didn't get 9. Oh, God. I hate this event. Oh my god. I'm gonna go cry. I already got all my cries out earlier. What am I saying? But that sucks. That puts us bottom of the heat. Just bottom of the thing in general. Oh my god. We gotta hope for some teams to get 7s. Like, that's our only hope. But the Wolfpack, of course, is gonna come in here and get like a 10.
Wolfpack have established themselves in the lead, but not by much.
Wait for it.
Closing in on them. You can see that gap is narrowing.
I don't even think they win
Run up
this
on
heat.
5 seconds left. Hugging that inside line. Oh, difficulty there. Perhaps troubled by Snowball.
Yeah,
Crazy
they
Cat's
got
Eyes
them
take
and the
lead
Crazy
at
Cat's Eyes get a
Fire.
10, and I think the Crazy Cat's Eyes beat them.
They have notched 10 laps along with the Wolfpack.
Yeah.
And they've done it in 29.49.
Wild. God damn. Can I just skip to the end? I'm hopeful for ice hockey. I want to say we're a decent hockey team.
Hazers were first to the line coming around, but now they've been beat by the Savage Speeders. That position switches,
I don't know.
and now Hazers have notched 3.
I want to say we're a space team. Like, we don't have hockey in space. So I actually want to, if I remember correctly, so of course marble lore, each of the teams come from like real places. Like, I want to say the Green Ducks are actually like they're not like, it's not like a real world thing where they're not from like Birmingham, but like they're like all like parody names based on real places. So like the Green Ducks are British, right? Their parody city is based on Britain, and I want to say Team Galactic is based on Tehran. Right, that sounds right in my head. Right, like the O'Rangers are based in Orlando or Orange Lando or something like that. I don't know, I remember reading up on it because, you know, I can scroll through wikis at nights. But like either way, right, that's not much snow. I was so good. I know we're not even halfway through. Right, like we're not, event 8 is our halfway point. But God, I'm losing so much hope. It's just like half victories and getting close, but not just quite getting there. Like, we barely qualified. Yeah, there we are in fucking 15. Fuck the solar flares. At least we're beating the solar flares. Fuck the solar flares. Team Galactic. I don't. Here's the thing. No matter how bad they do, I will always root for them. I ain't no fucking bandwagon. Fuck the solar flares. Fuck the ducks. Fuck the jungle jumpers. I will always root for my team. God, is this what it feels like to be a real sports fan? Is this what it feels like to care about, like, the Patriots, or the Broncos, or the Yankees, or the Red Wings, right? Or the Penguins? There's another real sports team. Is this what it feels to be like a real sports fan? Because I don't give a shit about any of those sports. Those are the only teams I can name from all of those sports. No, seriously, I think those are the Red Wings and the Penguins are probably the only 2 hockey teams I can actually name. The Nuggets? The Denver Nuggets? That's a basketball team. I know the Orlando Magic is a basketball team. That sounds right. Yeah, I don't know sports. I'm a videos Game Boy. I play the videos Game Boy on my Game Boy. Boy.
Blackjacks into the lead with the Wolfpack. Contact, and now they've lost it again. This duel between these two.
Come on.
The over-under is complete, however.
Come on. I mean, like, it doesn't matter because we've already failed. We're guaranteed 15. I just don't. Are the Green Ducks still in it? I just don't want the Green Ducks to win. Call me petty. I feel like I say, is this what it's like to be a real sports fan? But I'm way nicer. Like, I know I just told the solar flares to go fuck themselves, and they should go fuck themselves. But, like, I can appreciate a good showing.
Green Ducks are the leaders right now. Chocolatiers, Jungle
Man.
Jumpers, Ducks hit the center cone, and
That's gonna slow him down.
Much
Yeah,
like
you gotta go towards the center, but hitting the center cone will just kill all of your momentum. And no, I think the Green Ducks are out.
But that battle for second place, all three teams on 8. Who got there first? It was the Jungle Jumpers. So Chocolatiers and the Jumpers make it to the final.
Oh, you know what I forgot to talk about in WIBE? I had I tried the pink and the red drinks. There was like a Paris Hilton, and I can't remember who the red one was named after. 2 new drinks from Sonic. The Paris Hilton one and the other one. The Paris Hilton one was like a lemon dragon fruit Sprite with like some whipped cream and some nerds. Not great. I'll be honest, it wasn't great. The whipped cream like curdled in the Sprite with the lemons and whatnot, and it became like this kind of like thick foam. It was because it was like, I think it was whipped cream, but it got like, yeah, it kind of became like a foam, like it was like thick, not like a whipped cream, and it was just kind of gross. Like, I drank it, but I didn't love it. But the other one, the red drink, I can't remember who it's based on. Oh wow, Chocolatiers and Wolfpack won. Oh shit. Oh wow, Jungle Jumpers take home another medal. Bah humbug. But yeah, no, whoever did the red one, which I think was a Dr. Pepper with strawberries, whipped cream, and like one other thing. That was decent. I could definitely taste the strawberry in it. But yeah, no, that was fine. But the pink one, no. God, do not get that pink one.
The Jungle Jumpers wearing the bronze.
I'm trying to... God, look at us. Look at us. Fucking 15.
Snowballs rounding out the top 10. Interesting. Let's see what it does to the order. Bean counters are working through it.
That's going to drop us like 5 places.
Now Marble League, he won.
Okay, it dropped us 2. Yeah, we're still in 13th because we got a singular point.
We'll see what further moves happen as the 2024 Winter Marble League, sponsored by Mint Mobile.
All right, it's time for ice hockey.
Save with a Nintendo
This is a half-hour-long event. When this ends, we're done. It's already past midnight. I'm tired. But I intentionally did not watch this one earlier, so that way we could watch it tonight. Still trying to find out what the other drink was.
Oh, we got a rowdy crowd in the Moraine Domain Stadium tonight.
Wait, that's the name of the stadium? Okay, I admittedly do not remember how ice hockey works. Like a lot of these winter events, I clearly don't remember how any of them work.
A 4-point lead over Crazy Cat's Eyes, Green Ducks, Snowballs, Wolfpack.
I just want one medal. Come on. We've been struggling, but I think we're good at hockey. I think in 2018 we did decent. That sounds right in my head. Or the last time we did hockey.
Just never know.
I don't know, I'll be honest, I kind of don't remember how hockey works. Teams face off in a bracket. I think there are 4 brackets, if I remember correctly. Hey, it's the Santa Squad. Okay, I actually do kind of... So it's about, yeah, getting the ball bearings in. Yeah, you can see them there. How many... Is it 2 runs per thing? Yeah, and you flip sides.
Switch positions here in period number 2. Down they come. Watch over there on the left side. One goes in. One goes in on the opposite side as well. So an even wash in that period.
Okay, so yeah, okay, yeah, I actually do remember this one.
Just 2 periods.
Again, I think we're decent at this. I think.
And to kick us off in the actual.
I remember I saw the bracket. I can't remember which group we're in.
Very even. as they come down in there, and a slap shot goes past the Hazers. 1-0. Glaciers in the first period.
And yeah, this uses full teams.
Hazers trying to get back there on
I mean, you got the team of 4, and you got a goalie.
Switch sides, down they come. One's heading past the goalie, and one goes on the opposite side as well. That first period, you see.
Is the field ramped? Like, you kind of see that, like, I'm looking at the back lines, and they look kind of, I mean, it makes sense, I guess. It looks kind of slow. It doesn't look like that from above, but, like, from the side, it looks like it's, like, sloping down.
There, a wall of Blackjacks keeping that ball bearing from going out, even though they had a Wolfpack member and another ball bearing right behind the goalie.
I was like, we've never seen either of these teams do this event.
Period underway.
They're kind of unknowns.
Here, but look at on the left side. One of them gets
but the Blackjacks are doing pretty good.
And it increases.
I guess you know, let's go back to normal. Game face is on.
One of the metrics.
All right, I was still looking for whatever this drink is called.
Points first off, then highest.
I keep finding other things.
And finally, most goals scored. A win gets you 3 points, a draw gets you 1, and losses 0. What an opening run here for the Gliding Glaciers. 3. Watch on the right side there.
Oh yeah, I guess they're doing like full brackets to nail it down to 4.
And Blackjacks were scrambling to try to catch up to those. Blackjacks did score one, but now they have to go on the offense.
It's the Paris drink and the Nicole drink.
Down there, they get one of them in.
And yeah, the Paris is Sprite, dragon fruit with nerds, lemon and lime with a whip topping, and the Nicole is Dr. Pepper with strawberries, vanilla, and a sweet cream, topped with a whip topping. Yeah, no, the Nicole was better.
There's a lot to play for, really, for the Gliding Glaciers at this point. You look at where they sit in the overall standings.
Okay, so this is just a lot of matches.
There is so much time left.
I thought maybe it was like a bracket thing, like a winners and losers bracket. But no.
That they gave the defense, but then an impact.
Yeah, no, I do not. The Paris do not recommend. The Nicole was good though. I don't know if I'd get it again. I still love that butter brew that they have. That's been like my #1 Sonic drink.
Don't get a clean shot off. Oh, but look at this creeping to the side there. That defender can't stop that third one from going in on the right.
Yeah.
Come from behind, win.
Yeah, just barely squeaking it in there.
The Wolfpack. And they have to re-rack and come right back here against the Gliding Glaciers. One shot goes just wide for the Wolfpack. Lots of defenders on the other side, but look at those ball bearings creeping their way in. And another one back behind the Wolfpack. Gliding Glaciers sent things in motion and then immediately dropped back into the defensive zone. But no shots were heading their way. Let's see if they opt for a similar strategy here. They come, lots of movement. Yes, they're going to fall back. Wolfpack let 2 by.
Wow.
Gliding Glaciers had one
That's
that got all the way back there.
5 is
very
wild.
early. And was able to shepherd a couple of those in. A 5-1 drubbing there. As we go to match 6 here. Still in Group A, Hazers and Blackjacks. Slap shot goes in for the Hazers. And the defense manages to keep 2 of them out on the left side.
So I'm assuming everyone has to play against everyone else. 16 divided by 4. That's what, 4 groups? How many ever matches per group? I don't think it's 8.
For the Blackjacks as they started to come down the rink. Nice defense on the left side. Also ushering those ball bearings right on by. And we have a draw.
I don't know, it might be 8 matches.
No extra period here in the group stage. No shootout.
From the world of Inside Out.
I also need to watch. I was going to watch this, and I just didn't have the time next week. Because I like Inside Out.
Take what you can get.
There we go. Gliding Glaciers and the Blackjacks move on.
Gliding Glaciers and the Blackjacks will be advancing out of Group A. The Wolfpack do not make it. Look at that -6 goal differential there. You can see what the acronyms mean. GA for goals against.
I think we're in Group C. I think That sounds right. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Rolling down now. And it looks like we're going to start with a draw here. One of those shots.
God, I'm tired.
Just hanging up on the crease.
So my goal in the future. Oh, I know we failed the Astrobots challenge, but I still think I'm gonna get that video edited and put up as like a highlight reel on YouTube. I'll hopefully make it quick. Like hopefully it'll be no longer than like a 30-minute video. That's kind of my goal at the moment.
That was very close. It just barely had time to start mentioning it. Watch it.
So that's my plan, and I also kind of do want to do some. One of my. Oh, here we are. Okay, wait. Let's fuck up Momo real quick. Come on.
A couple of ball bearings. 3 of them head to the right side, but not gonna work.
Shit.
Only 2 of them get in. Goalie with a nice stop.
I was like, that's a good stop. But other than that, that's not good. Come on, tie it up. I'd rather have a tie than a loss. I'd rather have a win, of course, but I'd take a tie over a loss.
They put all 4 marbles in their own net.
I mean, it's better to lose with a point than to just lose with 0, because that shit does add up. Oh, so as I was saying, my goal for Season 6 of In Chat is I need to start doing more highlights. I know TikTok is going away at the end of the year, or in January, and we'll see what happens with that. But I want to do, I always say I want to do more stream highlights, but that's my goal for next year. Just do more stream highlights. Even if it's not like an every week thing, or like an everyday thing. If I can get like 1 out a week, that'd be nice.
For Crazy Cat's Eyes. Blue Eye got down there, already had a couple of shots on the way. The rest of the Cats were heading to their own defense.
I'm so glad I have no more tears left to cry. After talking about the Game Awards earlier, because
slap shot upon entry there. But look at this one right from the
yes.
Gets right by the goalie for Balls of Chaos here at the end. Watch this one, right past.
I can't even
for Team Galactic heading into the second period.
Come on, just take it. Oh, look at that study. I might actually leave that. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let's just leave this right here for now.
Oh, very close. 5-2 the end, though.
Yeah, we need all the hints we can get. Yeah, who cares where the marbles start?
Crazy Cat's Eyes and Team Galactic now. Your
That's
eyes
cute.
Are kind of darting back and forth here. These goals happen so quickly. If you're looking at one net, the other one could see a lot of action, and that's what happens here on the right side.
That's not good.
Early, second one comes in after the marbles clear. Green Eye is giving chase, manages to stop.
Come on, just knock him in, hit a bunch of them right over.
3-0. Team Galactic have to dig themselves out of a hole here, and they get one of them in. Watch on the top side there. Oh, that shot just stopped.
No, we got our ass kicked in that one.
One got in over there.
This is not looking good. This is not looking good at all. I mean, we still got another match. Or
Balls of Chaos and Team
maybe we don't have another match. Shit. No, we're out. I think we're out. We lost 2, but we only won 1. I think we're out. I think every other team won better than us. Fuck.
Final period. In group stage, do not have an overtime. Quick shot goes in for Momo. Watch on the left side, one of them's heading to the goal and makes it in. Oh, but on the right side, just as I mentioned that, look at on the top part of your screen.
Fuck, this is it. We're out.
That shot chasing over and rolling in around the corner just makes it.
God
for Group B,
damn it.
Crazy Cat's Eyes and Team Momo are moving on.
I'm not king.
I'm gonna put this back over here.
Not what you were. It is what you become.
Oops.
Galactic and Balls of Chaos.
Let's just fucking cry.
They do not make it out of the group.
Let's just cry. And I cry all the time in this institution. Any praise. Oh my God, do I pray. I pray every single day. for revolution.
Snowballs just could not get their shots in order. Look at how many of those Bears are still sitting out on the course here. Lots of shots left undone. Oh, good save from the goal on the right side there for the
What's
Speeders.
going
On the left
on?
side, lots of ball there on the top, immediately streaking in and ushered into the net. It's a 2-1 victory for Savage Speeders.
I say, hey, what's going on?
Down they come in this one for Soldiers, Flares, and Raspberry
So
Racers.
fucking
One in
stupid.
apiece.
Oh my
One
god.
is caught. Look at on the left side here on the bottom.
I don't even know if there's a loser's bracket or anything. We could be in fucking 15th for all I know. I mean, what? We scored 3?
Run.
God.
Tied at 1 apiece. Quick shot goes.
I'm gonna go to
in there
sleep.
for The Raspberry Racers. We're watching over on the far side, and another one goes. Solar Flares actually ended up defending one of their own shots.
I don't care how good the Raspberry Racers do. I'm not rooting for them. I have standards. But fuck the Savage Speeders.
Group C.
I'm all about that Savage Speeder deletion. Like, I want them to fail. To be the they're the last team that's qualified every year. I'm ready for their downfall.
See if they switch up that strategy this time here in the second period. Going back there, the Speeders very offensive.
I don't want the Raspberry Racers to win. I just want the Savage Speeders to
Breaking
lose.
that direction. Perhaps a bit reactionary by the Raspberry Racers, who might have expected the opposite to be the case.
And fuck the Solar Flares.
Snowballs and Solar Flares coming out now. One in a piece. Look at the second shot going wide on the right side. One sneaks in.
We're about to hit
through
3
a
hours.
team of marbles down there. The goalie was just able to get a hand on it for the Snowballs, but it wasn't enough. That one came in, and then in between 2 or 3 marbles, that second shot crossed the line. 2-1 Solar Flares in the lead. One shot goes straight
Nintendo
past the
fans
goalie.
pretending to be
Watch it up
surprised
top side
when
there.
the
It's
Switch
gonna
2
stay.
trailer drops.
Another one goes in. Meanwhile, on the right, and it will be
God,
3-1
and
Solar
you know,
Flares.
the worst part is when they do show it off in January, it's not going to be like a first or second week of January thing. They're going to wait until like the 20th, because that's what Nintendo does.
And with 3 defenders sitting in their own net, look at how quickly they got down to that back line, the Savage Speeders defenders, and that paid off. Second period, much more even in where they come down. Lots more shots heading toward the end of the Solar Flares, and the goalie is helpless to stop it. 4-0. Speeders get the shutout. Getting toward the end here of Group C. Snowballs, Raspberry Racers meeting head-to-head.
Oh, you know what I was thinking when we talked about that Split Fiction game, Joseph Ferris's new game? It sucks that Achievement Hunter's not around anymore, because I would love to see Michael and Gavin play that. I mean, maybe we'll get Michael and Lindsay to play it. I mean, we could get Gavin and Andrew to play it. I could totally see them doing that on,
sending defenders back, but they can't stop one shot from getting in.
what's it called? Regulation Pod? Whatever it is. But I loved Michael and Gavin's doing A Way Out. Like, that's the most fun I had with A Way Out. Even Raspberry Racers lost as well.
Second, third, and fourth all sitting on 3, so you go through. All right, goals.
This is not my Mario. Again, we're not even halfway through. We could have a comeback and win a bunch of golds. But it's not going to happen. We all know it's not going to happen. Fuck, it's not my Marble League year. No, not that I'm giving up. It's just I'm in Sad Boy. It's been Sad Boy Week 2.
Can't get it done.
Sad Boy Week.
Other teams in this
Sad Boy Month.
The Tears and the Jungle Jumpers.
Are they doing a Christmas race this year?
Quick shot in for the Green Ducks on the right side. Another one.
I don't know. With the Marble League going on right now, I wouldn't think so. But like anything's possible.
3 defenders down there. And they will get the win.
I don't know. This is the Green Ducks and the Jungle Jumpers year. Like, they're doing great. And they're just going to keep winning. Okay, they're not winning at the moment, but they will. They'll
For the
figure it out.
Chocolatiers, only one for the Jungle Jumpers.
Ugh.
Second half. Quick shot goes in.
Yeah, they tied it up, see?
They're going to be even. Watch on the right side. One sneaks in. The other one is a good shot that actually ricochets off of a Jungle Jumper and goes in. So that one is going to be a draw. Bumblebees and Chocolatiers now. Bumblebees ushering the one shot very wide, but it's still going to make it in. Two of them on the other side, however. 2-1 in the first period. Bumblebees, Chocolatiers dropping down once more. Quick shot goes on a slapper past the goalie who saves one, but lets in another one. Bumblebees goalie overwhelmed Chocolatiers.
Is this what it feels like to be a British soccer fan? Maybe that's it. Like, you know you could be doing well, and yet you're failing at every time. And even the moments in which you do well, you know something's going to go wrong. That's been the Marble League this year. Like, even in the moments where it's like, oh yeah, you know, we're doing good. We just got, you know, we're in 3rd or 4th place. And then we just slowly sink down to like 8th or 11th.
Second period.
Ugh.
Green Ducks trying to shove one of those shots past. That leaves the net. Wide open.
Oh, you know what game we didn't talk about at the Game Awards? That Cats game.
Second one to go in, but on the left
It's
one makes it around the corner.
somehow there's this cat game, which is like, you know. Oh, we also didn't talk about the unpacking game. There's this so there's a game called Unpacking.
On the other side.
And it looks like there's this, basically it's the exact opposite. It's packing, where you're like packing stuff into a car. And it totally looks like a VR game, but it's not VR, according to Kinda Funny. And, you know, I trust them.
Jungle Jumpers and the
But it totally looks like it should be. But yeah, we didn't talk about that. I love Unpacking. I think Unpacking is a great game. It was in my top 10 a few years ago. A lot of ties this round. But I forgot there was a cat game. And the cat game looks really weird and really dumb. But it also might be like a crypto scam or something. Like, there's the total possibility that it's some sort of like crypto scam. And like AI generated game or something like that. I don't know. I feel like we're in the, well, yes, we are in the age of AI slop. I feel like there's this like movement to like call anything you don't like AI slop. And we got to be careful with using that word. Because not everything is AI slop. But AI slop could come from anywheres.
Make it through 3-2 in this one.
But I guess it's like this cat game is like a brand new developer, you know, no history, and it just looks kind of. It was a weird trailer that looks kind of sketchy. I don't know. I remember listening to the trailer while we were doing the thing yesterday. But okay, 10th.
9th through 16th.
It's not great, but I mean, it could be worse.
Overtimes are possible.
It could be worse. We could be the Bumblebees.
Yellow's Marble Runs is exciting.
That's only halfway through the event.
You can now
We're about to hit 3 hours.
And have team races with our
I knew it was going to be a 3. And I mean, what am I saying? In 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to do a 4-hour stream. Because for some reason, Game of the Year always takes 4 hours. I know exactly why, because I talk a lot. I spend like 20 minutes on each game, and then I talk about future predictions for like a year. I haven't even started writing gaming. I honestly don't even know if I have. If this was a good year for gaming, but I don't even know if I have 10 games. It goes back to that Elden Ring thing I was talking about earlier. Like, the problem is not the Game Awards or Shadow of the Erdtree. It's the rest of the industry that couldn't muster up 6 good enough games that are better than Shadow of the Erdtree. That's kind of my Game of the Year list as well. Like, you know, for as much as I think this is a good year in gaming, I can't think of 10 games that I put on my Game of the Year list. I definitely have some. Like, I could easily do a top 5 off the top of my head.
Crazy Cat's
But a
Eyes and
top
Green Duck.
10?
Now the elimination rounds.
I gotta, before the end of the year, I gotta put more time into Balatro.
1-0
I've not
for the
put
Cats.
nearly as much time as I want to. I gotta put some more time into that before the year ends. I also kind of want to play Horizon before the year ends, but I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Period number 2.
I should put some more time into Another Crab's Treasure as well. Because there's a part of me that kind of wants that game to be on the list, but I didn't play enough of it to get it there.
Get the win 2-1.
Because, God, some of that stuff in that game.
One of those shots out. Savage Speeders and the Blackjacks in quarterfinal 3. Ooh, it takes a little bit before one shot goes in. Oh, late at the end on the left side. And the Blackjacks will score 2. There's one. The other one just gets in right at the end there before that replay cut off. Second half, Savage Speeders down a goal. What can they do? What do they do? Offense versus defense. They get one in. Watch that ball bearing on the near side.
Tied up.
Oh, it's going to stay on the right side there. Oh, very close. The Speeders almost got a win out of that one. And then, right at the end here, the Blackjacks almost got a win. Oh, didn't see the full replay there, but that ball bearing on the near side was working its way up. Now we're in overtime. First team to go ahead.
Oh yeah, in the Game Awards, we didn't get Silksong, and we didn't get Half-Life 3. Silksong I knew wasn't going to happen. But Half-Life, I don't know, something's going to happen eventually. Like, we know Steam's working on their Steam machines, like a rebrand, that, you know, will get those back into the public consciousness. As, like, you know, consoles. And, you know, if they're selling that with Half-Life 3, I'd be down. I just want Portal 3. There was that Portal mod that added time, like their time portals. That was really interesting. That would be like the evolution of the concept.
Ball bearing creeping its way down, but it stops.
But Portal 2 is really good.
We are tied at 2, and to overtime we go. Momo and the
what was I saying? I was talking stuff.
But it's answered on the other side. And we are headed to a second overtime. Team Momo sitting
Holy shit.
in the standings. Chocolatiers sitting 8th. Both of them would love to advance and
they both
more points.
Do want this.
Waiting. Good defense on the right side there. Left side. Chocolatiers.
Wow, Chocolatiers take it. I thought this was supposed to be Momo's year. What about that?
On the left. Could not stop it.
It's Christmas in 3 weeks. Just look after them till I can find them a foster home.
So from 5th to 8th, it's Momo, Blackjacks, Gliding Glaciers,
okay.
and Green Ducks.
There goes the Green Ducks.
We're also looking at number of overtimes once you get too deep into here. As we have made it to the final remaining 4 teams. Snowballs and Crazy Cat's Eyes are 2 of them. 2 teams that are also in the top 4 of the standings in the Marble League right now. 2 get in on the right side past the Cats. None over on the Snowballs goal. In fact, no shots even went down there.
Nope.
Let's see how they respond. Can Snowballs keep the pressure?
Oh, did you see the connections yesterday? So I don't do connections. I don't do any of the New York Times things. But connections, they did another image one just for the hell of it. I did fantastic.
2 of them actually made.
I think all my guesses were either correct or one away.
Go to semifinal 2.
And I saw people talking about it like, oh my god, this connections is so hard because you know images make it more difficult because you can interpret the same image in different ways. And I think it's interesting. I think it's an interesting concept. But yeah, no, I did great on connections.
All right.
It's the only time I played it, and like I didn't play it today. Well, yesterday. I'm not gonna play it today. But I saw the image and people freaking out about it, and I was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. Sure, why not? I got like
to their goal
5
differential.
minutes. Took me
They
longer
had
than
two
5
other
minutes.
shots that were down on the boards that did not make it to the goal. Look at how many on the left.
I don't know,
side
some of the
there.
stuff I figured out
Speakers
like
setting us
instantly,
back.
like the tee. I saw the tee. I saw the golf tee, the tea tee, you know, the chai tea. And then it was like, oh, t-shirt.
Off that ice because we are
And it took me a minute to realize, like, oh no, this isn't dough. This is
We
tea.
start
Okay.
with the third place match.
And then the rest of them, you know,
Raising
the
cat
teeth
signs
one,
Speeders
I saw it,
are
I was
elite,
like,
by the way, in
gears
the
have
Marble League right
teeth,
now.
saws have
Crazy
teeth.
cat
Oh
signs
shit.
get one in, but then our
Because I was trying to
goal
figure out the
was
T
on the
one
other
when I
side.
figured out that
Two
one.
laser
I think that was the
beam
first one
shots
I got, actually.
Go right through 3 or 4 of them.
And I don't remember what the other one was.
Speeders
I know the last one I got was the Rivers one, and that was only because it was,
Second
you know,
period,
what I
here
had
we go.
left.
And they come waiting for the shots to
Because I couldn't figure out the
roll, and
mouth.
they add
I don't even
to
remember what the mouth was
the
supposed to be,
Speeders
but I could
have
not figure it
captured
out.
bronze over Crazy
God, I was
Cat
talking
Signs.
about the Savage Speeders getting defeated,
That is the Speeders'
and look at what
second medal of
happens.
these games.
Ugh. I mean, that's only their second medal, but still. Alright, who's it come down to?
Bronze step of the podium has been decided. Gold
Snowballs in the chocolate?
come next.
Yeah, no, they're...
Snowballs and chocolatiers.
You know, I guess I made fun of the Snowballs, saying that they were the bad ice team. And clearly I've been proven wrong. Because I think of all the games we've watched today, this is what this is basically their second medal. Whereas the Gliding Glaciers just... I mean, they were, what, top 8?
Must dig deep. They send a couple of shots to the near side, but they can't do it. Oh, good defense on the other side.
There you go.
Stays in
Another medal for
front of the
Snowballs.
Snowballs. Excellent defense there with 2 Snowballs back behind, and now those 2 are also late to the party.
Tired.
But it didn't end up mattering.
I'm tired.
So,
The winter is
gold medalists in ice
cold.
hockey are
I
the
don't have any
Snowballs, their first
gold.
gold of the
And we're
2024
standing
Winter
in
Marble
line
League,
for a
sponsored
loaf
by
of
Mint
bread.
Mobile. Chocolatiers get the silver, Savage Speeders get the bronze.
Just looking at my stupid, sad face.
Well, this is rather pertinent for the Snowballs because in addition to the most valuable marble award that we usually do in the Marble League, there's also awards for best captain and best coach. And for captain, that is the sum of all team events for the team. And there's only
Was
one
that
team
always the
event left.
thing?
So as a
I know,
result,
and
Snowy, who is the captain of the Snowballs, is holding the lead.
I know
with
the most
best
valuable
captain
marble,
award
but
for
I
the
don't
season.
remember
That
a
was
coach
the
one.
Final team event. Who do you think is going to be most valuable marble? Or what about best coach, which is...
Yeah, best...
some of
I mean, I like the idea.
may not necessarily be the winning team. We'll have to see.
We didn't change it all.
And so,
Net balanced out,
all of
but we're
this,
still...
a long event where you weren't
We're
really sure
40
where
points
to look,
behind, or
with eyes
42
darting
points
back and
behind.
forth. Maybe take a break because up next we are ratcheting up the intensity once more for ice bowling. We hope to see you there.
I mean, okay, when it came to accuracy and biathlon, we actually did pretty decent. Not as good as the Green Ducks, but, you know. Then again, everybody did decent except for the Savage Speeders. And one other team I don't remember. God. Alright, that's it. Where's my outro? I'm hitting... Okay, there's my outro. I'm calling it there. Yeah, oh, that hasn't even been updated. That's it. That's where I'm calling it for the night. I'm tired. So many just failures. It's not even failures. It was like 10th place. Except for short track. Fuck short track. Other than that, it was what, 10, 11, and whatever the other place was. I think 8. I mean, that's not... Some of those are even in the top half, but... Still... it's not been going well. We've got half the Marble League. We got half of it remaining. There's still plenty of time to catch up. But... Ugh. I'm tired. I'm cold. I do actually need to... it's gotten cold enough I do need to actually go get a winter blanket. And not the whatever I'm currently using. Okay, that's it. That's where we're calling it for tonight. We'll be back next week with Sad Boy Hour Week 3. Because God, yeah, we went basically an hour tonight. Over an hour just doing the marbles. I do love the Marble League. I love my little Team Galactic. Shika. I'll figure it out. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But I'll make something cool. You're worth it, Team Galactic. Just give it a little kiss. Okay, I'm clearly out of it. Hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Until next time, peace.